Welcome into the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. I'm Tim Dennis. It's a little bit of a different show today, folks, but it's going to be a good show. It's ripped from the headlines. We haven't done this in a couple of months. So in order to have that great show today, we got to bring in a great co-host, and we're going to bring one in right now. We're bringing in the BCB, the Big Cuddly Bear, Beer City Bruiser. How you doing, Bruiser?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, Cruiser. It's been a while since we've done some rip from the headlines. I think we're Johnny Depp and Amber or whatever still going back and forth. Yeah.
We were talking about pooping in beds and stuff like that, I think, the last time we did one of these. Yeah. Funny how that shook out. I mean, not the bed, but, you know, that deal. Now I think as far as that deal goes, I think most people have filed their name on a petition to get Amber Heard out of Aquaman 2. I think Johnny Depp is now on the road performing with some band.
His Hollywood Vampires, I believe it is.
Well, yeah, but then didn't he jump on the road with Jeff Beck or somebody?
Oh, yeah, you're right. He's doing the individual thing where he's just jumping in as a guitar player.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I've seen the Hollywood Vampires, and this is before I knew it was a Superman supergroup. Mm-hmm. Fantastic.
Really?
Really good, yeah.
Yeah.
Not what I expected.
Huh. I haven't seen them, to be honest with you.
Yeah. we were on a road trip somewhere, and someone put it on the radio.
Okay.
I was like, oh, this is pretty good. So I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, it's a super group of musicians and like huge rock stars.
I know.
It's pretty good.
Aren't he and Alice Cooper tight or something like that?
Something like that. He's tight with a lot of people in the music industry, though. Because he owned the Viper Pit for a bit?
Yes, he did.
Where what's his face OD'd? Joaquin? Not Joaquin.
River.
Yeah,
River Phoenix. Yeah. That kind of hit him hard. That was a big deal. Yeah.
Well, it hit everybody hard.
Yeah. But they were tight.
Well, yeah.
He and River were. Yeah. Yeah, so it was a thing that really, I shouldn't say a thing. It was a death that hit him quite hard. So and in fact, if I remember right, what did he sell that, or did it go up for foreclosure? I'm trying to remember.
No, it's still there. I think he sold it.
Well, no, I mean, as far as his transfer of the
he
club.
sold it. I know that. I know the Viper Room is still there, I believe.
Yeah, it is. It's still there. But I'm trying to remember, did a big conglomerate buy that? Or was it an individual, the club owner, and then a big conglomerate? Because I know it's kind of a big deal. It's not a big deal anymore as far as the club.
It's more of a landmark people go to because so much has happened there. And
it's not like an it club anymore. Like people. No. Yeah.
I always equate it to it's kind of like, remember what CBGB's used to be before they got shut down? That's what it is.
Yeah.
Or the Whiskey Go-Go.
Yeah. It's
like I want to go there just because it's a club that I've heard of and a lot of bands that I like play. That's like I want to go to the Whiskey too. There's nothing special about it, but everybody and their mother played there. So.
Right. It's a nostalgia act, for lack of a better term. Yeah, it's a nostalgia act. That's what it is.
Plus, you could do celebrity death tours, and I've always been curious about that. You can go to see where like people, who else's were.
Well, yeah, River died right out there on the sidewalk, didn't he?
Yeah, and I guess like when he was ODing, Christina Applegate was there, and Joaquin. They thought that he was joking.
Yeah.
They thought his seizures were because he's not prone to seizures, and they didn't know what he took.
Yeah, scary stuff.
There's a really good show for you and the listeners. It's called 24 Hours, last 24 hours. And they cover, especially true crime stuff, they cover the last 24 hours of people's lives. And they cover with him, River Phoenix. They do Chris Farley, Jim Belushi, Robin Williams. But they literally go through the last 24 hours and then explain like how it got to be that way. So it kind of covers their lives too, but it's really interesting to see what they do in the last 24 hours of their lives. Janis Joplin's one of them.
Really?
Yeah. It's called The Last 24. And it's streaming everywhere. But I watch it. I watched, there's a Kurt Cobain one. I mean, lots of them. And it's real interesting.
Very interesting. Huh. I'll have to check that out. Oh, speaking of, and I think tomorrow we may talk about it a little bit. Halloween ends. Speaking of things that may be your assignment today or tomorrow when you.
I planned on watching it tonight.
Yeah,
I planned on watching it yesterday, but football got my attention.
Yeah, football.
Every single game was amazing to watch, minus the Packer game.
I don't know if that Viking game was amazing.
You guys, where have you come from?
I don't know. I think.
For as much as you talk about Kirk Cousins, Jeffers and Cook are pulling him out of the weeds.
You know what? I saw yesterday the reason why we're not going to win a playoff game. It happened in one play.
Okay.
If I may, I know it's not sports talk. It's true crime talk. One play though. If you can indulge me for just 30 seconds here, Bruiser. Here it is. Yesterday, and it was right in the middle of a frustrating sequence of plays. Of course, Miami's defense is amazing. It's a great defense, and they tend to stack 5 in the box a lot. Or I'm sorry, 8 in the box a lot. But five down linemen. Sometimes they bring up 2 linebackers, maybe 3 linebackers. But they put 8 in the box a lot, and they do that a lot. A lot of it was to stop Dalvin Cook. Okay. And to shut down the running game and force Cousins to throw and to pressure Cousins, because they know you pressure Cousins, he's useless. You shut down the entire deal. That's the secret to stopping the Vikings. Okay,
you preached that since he became quarterback.
Right. Just pressure Cousins, he'll fold like a house of cards. Everybody knows that now. Philly exposed it years ago, but that's just the way it is. So. They've got the game plan. That's what they're going to do. Okay. Now, it takes the genius of O'Connell, KOC, to smooth out Cousins' feathers every other sequence of plays, because he had to on Sunday. The thing that Zimmer couldn't do when he was here, because he didn't want to. He didn't like Cousins. But he had to smooth out old Cousins' feathers every single series of plays in order to keep him on track.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the thing that Cousins apologists in Minnesota don't want to see. They think he's some sort of genius. He's not. He's not a great quarterback. He's a game manager, if that.
He's a horrible quarterback surrounded by a great team right now.
That's right. If it weren't for the team, he'd be the Washington Redskins. Is really what he is. So in this one play, Bruiser, this is the one play basically is going to tell you where the Vikings are going to end up this year.
Okay.
He lines up, and he calls one play and then runs a different one. And then wants to blame it on Justin Jefferson, one of the best wide receivers in the entire damn league.
Yep.
He lines up and Jefferson runs a wide receiver screen, the play he called, and then he wanted to go deep with Jefferson, and he drops back, gets frustrated, throws the ball over Jefferson's head to the ghost of Ahmad Rashad about 15 yards deep to nobody over the sideline, then starts flailing his arms like a chicken with his head cut off and is screaming to himself as he goes over to the sideline. And KOC the coach just has to tap him on the helmet and say, "It's okay, buddy. It's okay. We'll get him next series on a 3rd down."
Yeah.
That tells me one thing. Cousins, you're an idiot. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That iced out chain you're wearing makes you look like a giant idiot, by the way. Second of all, you didn't even remember the play you called.
Yeah.
Okay. Third, really, even Jefferson isn't going to cover your ass on that deal. So that basically tells you what's going to happen when we get to the playoffs. 1, the pressure is going to be too much. 2, you're not going to be able to hit your ass with either hand with a throw. And 3, the pressure, again, did I mention this, is going to be too much.
That's because they're going to be playing some top defense.
That's right. Playoffs. These defenses are going to swallow you up whole and kill you.
Yeah.
And the Miami game, as much as, okay, you look at the score and go, oh, wow, the Vikings really killed Miami yesterday.
Yeah.
They didn't. The Vikes were never in control of that game. Luckily, the defense,
Oh, the defense is on fire right now. That addition of Zadarius Smith is
and
godsend for you guys.
That's the thing. Zadarius stepped up yesterday.
Yeah.
Dantzler is getting better by studying under Patrick Peterson, and he's really stepped his game up. And you've got Bynum who's stepping up in the secondary. So you've got some guys who are really gelling on the defense right now and coming together. If it weren't for that defense, we'd be getting killed.
You'd be the Green Bay Packers.
That's right. We should be, and honest to God, and there's something about the way KOC is preaching winning right now.
Yeah.
That's got that team winning.
Yeah.
Other than that, we'd be 1-5. We'd be at the bottom of the NFC North.
And that's sports talk.
There you go. That's sports talk on True Crime Tuesday. So there you go.
That Cousins murdered somebody. That's how we tied it in.
Yeah, and Cousins basically murdered the NFL yesterday and murdered the reputation of all quarterbacks across the NFL.
Well, Cousins isn't going to be a murderer because he can't hit the broadside of a barn.
That's right. He couldn't hit anybody. He couldn't. It's not vehicular homicide because he couldn't hit anything. He can barely see.
Could be a serial killer, right?
Speaking of not being able to hit anything, Rodgers, by the way, what the hell happened yesterday?
Yeah, he's a year too long. They kept him too long. They should have let him go instead of paying him the big money. He doesn't like. They do those 3 and 4 yard passes. That doesn't work. You have to go long every once in a while. You have to take a risk.
Well, and
he doesn't trust any of his receivers. And then with Cobb going down, Cobb's probably out for the season. That's it. He doesn't trust anybody.
Well, and why are you throwing into the end zone twice when you have 2 perfectly good running backs?
Because he's Rodgers.
Oh God. So yeah, it's NFC North Sports Talk on True Crime Tuesday. With that being said, our show today, if you've skipped ahead to find out what's going on with True Crime Tuesday, our show today, ripped from the headlines, we're going to talk a little bit of Parkland. We're going to talk a little bit about your neck of the woods, Raleigh, North Carolina. There was a shooting last week.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah,
I saw that.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about 5 people killed there. Missouri man is in the news. We're going to talk a little bit about an Indiana 5th grade Catholic school teacher who allegedly created a kill list of students and staff.
What?
Yeah.
5th grade kill list, huh?
A 5th grade kill list. Yeah, let's jump into it, shall we? Let's talk first about Parkland. Outrage about Nicholas Cruz. Boy, oh boy, did it get heated.
Okay.
And depending on which side of the death penalty you fall on, this was controversial.
Okay.
Bruiser. Nicholas Cruz was sentenced to life in prison, and a lot of people and a lot of the victims' families thought that Nicholas Cruz should have been sentenced to death, and rightfully so. So, I mean, this is a kid who essentially stood over 17 people and pumped bullets, hundreds of bullets into kids.
Yep.
And did it without remorse.
See, the problem with the death penalty nowadays, though, is even when you get sentenced to death, it doesn't necessarily mean you die by whatever they sentence you to. Because there's the appeals and the court system, and they just sit in jail for 30, 40 years. You know, how many serial killers have we heard of sentenced to death, and they just sit on death row?
True, but they are trying to move those executions through faster, especially in certain states and certain areas.
I think if you kill a certain amount of people, you should be up for a death penalty, especially children.
Oh, God, yeah. And this looked like the biggest slam dunk in the history of prosecutions. And that's what's so shocking about the decision.
Yeah.
A jury decided last Thursday to sentence the Parkland school shooter Nicholas Cruz to life in prison over the death penalty. The jury reached a decision Thursday morning after deliberating for hours on Wednesday. And here's the key. It takes just one juror to decide life in prison to make it life in prison.
Well, that's the thing about our court system, too, that people forget about when you see people getting off on crimes and stuff. It's not necessarily the defense attorney's job to prove the person's innocent. It's the defense attorney's job to put doubt in the jurors' minds, because you have to prove without shadow of a doubt guilt.
True. Very true.
So with this, it comes down to one person can just say, no, I don't believe in the death penalty, and death penalty's off the table.
True. Cruz's death penalty trial lasted 3 months as prosecutors showcased Cruz's plans to carry out the mass shooting that killed 17 people at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School on February 14th of 2018. It's hard to believe it was that long ago that this took place. His defense attorneys argued Cruz suffered from fetal alcohol syndrome and untreated mental health issues. Family members of the Parkland shooting victims were beyond disappointed about the decision to sentence him to life. According to the Associated Press, Lori Alhadeff, I believe I got that right, whose daughter died in the shooting, said at a press conference, "This should have been the death penalty, 100%. 17 people were brutally murdered on February 14th, 2018. I sent my daughter to school and she was shot 8 times. I'm so beyond disappointed and frustrated with this outcome. I cannot understand. I just don't understand." Another victim's father said, "This jury failed our families today. 17 families did not receive justice." The Broward County State Attorney Harold Pryor released a statement regarding the verdict and said the world is a poorer and sadder place without the 17 victims in it. He also thanked the jurors, prosecutors, courthouse staffers, families, and survivors. Pryor said, "I thank everyone who worked to ensure that the whole truth, the full story, was told about the tragedy with full transparency. To my knowledge, this is the first time that the full story of a community's loss and all the relevant facts have been told about a mass shooting of this magnitude. We have not shied away from telling all of the horror, all of the loss, all of the devastation, all of the pain, all of the facts, all of the truth." His statement continued, "We hope that while there is no such thing as closure, this will bring some measure of finality and justice to this terrible chapter." In this, Bruiser, you and I could go back and forth about the death penalty probably for the next hour and talk about whether it is a just penalty, and we could probably get a lot of emails on it too, and whether it is a penalty that truly gets closure for the victims, and whether it is swift justice and whether it is just justice. And I'll throw this out there, and I want your opinion on it. Is it easier to... Let me frame it this way. I'm trying to think of the right way to frame this for you, because I was thinking about this over the weekend. Does a criminal get away with it by snuffing out the candle of a soul and going on to the next world? Or is it an easier punishment to kill a criminal? Or is it a harder punishment to make them sit behind bars in an 8x8 or a 6x8 or whatever they're sitting in for the rest of their natural lives, having their freedom cut from them, having to sit in that system day after day after day, knowing they're never going to see the sun, knowing that conditions are not what they should be, knowing that they probably face their own mortality behind bars, knowing that they're probably going to have to have a different type of justice behind bars. Maybe, who knows? I don't know how you get treated as a school shooter behind bars. Maybe there's someone who's going to eventually shank you behind bars for being a school shooter because you treated children that way. Maybe you get the crap beat out of you every day behind bars. Maybe there's a hell behind bars that's waiting for you. Which is more cruel and unusual, to be snuffed out or to be put behind bars so that maybe other criminals take care of you, or maybe the guards get a little justice with you, or maybe you just get this hellish life for the rest of your life behind bars? Which do you think is is more of a cruel fate for you for doing what you did.
I believe for a crime like this, he should have gotten the death penalty. The reason my thinking behind that, I feel that way about serial killers too. Because yeah, in prison you have, you just said, no freedom and the 8x8 cell, but you eventually adapt to that because we're humans and we adapt. And while they're in prison, they can relive their crimes. They can keep thinking about it and you know, yes, his head's going to be on a swivel and he's going to have to protect, but eventually they'll put him in protective custody. You know, you go back to a Jeffrey Dahmer or John Wayne Gacy, they were in protective custody for so long. And then when they finally got released in the Gen Pop, that's when they started having the problems. That's when Dahmer was murdered. Gacy, I think, led in his prison. I think he led like not just a political party, but like he got inmates together as like a union type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you get snuffed out, you no longer are a part of this world. You no longer have a future. I think that's scarier than living a life in prison. Because he's going to, especially this kid, he's going to adapt and he's going to learn. Since they took the death penalty away, I think he needs to have some sort of mental health treatment, to force him to do that. But to answer your question, I think getting your life snuffed out with the death penalty is far worse because you have a time when you are going to die. It's marked on the calendar. This is your last day on earth. And coming to terms with that is one of the hardest things. Think about it now when you ask somebody, hey, are you ready to die? Have you planned your funeral? You spoke to La Camina and you asked her that question because she's atheistic. And you said, hey, thinking about that, and her answer was, well, I live life to the fullest. I live life now and stuff. And I think a lot of us are scared to face our own mortality. Can you imagine what it's like if someone walks up and goes, Tim, on this day is your last day on earth? That's terrifying.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
And then to have it for some reason pushed off. Now you have a new date that you have to look at. That I think is worse than living every day behind bars and 3 hot meals, a place to sleep, getting an education, whatever he's going to do, if that makes sense.
It's a good point. No, it's a very good point.
And this kid's young too, wasn't he? If I remember, he was only like 17, 18, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's not like us where we're older and we know we have a limited time on this earth. So around your 40s, 50s, you start planning that next stage. You want to make sure your loved ones are taken care of and you have a place to go. But when you're 17, 18 years old, you don't think about that.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you imagine if they would say, okay, I know we're going to do death penalty and it's going to be on this date. Now he's got to count that down. He has to have a come to Jesus talk right then and there.
Very true. Very true.
And I think that's more terrifying than worrying about Bubba, beating you up and taking you in the shower.
Yeah, that is true as well. Yeah, very true. We move from that story to the story in Raleigh, North Carolina, where 5 people were killed in a mass shooting, and this suspect is only 15 years old.
Yeah,
and it seems like, Bruiser, they're getting younger and younger, which is a sad story indeed.
It's because this story is all over the place here, obviously. It's in North Carolina. Yeah. And I was talking to Mrs. Bruiser the other day, and I said, no one's talking mental health with these young kids. They're preaching to these kids, you treat everybody equal, you be nice to everybody, but bullying still happens.
It does, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's there. And not only does that still happen, but there's still real life problems these kids are facing. And when I was a kid, my dad always said, if someone, messes with you or your sister or your brother, you stand up for yourself. Well, nowadays people don't say that. They don't want you to get into schoolyard fights. They don't want you to express your feelings. They want you to sit down and talk. And I think that's why this is all happening, is because these kids have all this pent up anger and rage and don't know how to release it. And no one's teaching these kids, hey, you can talk to an adult, or you can, go get in a schoolyard fight. You know, I'd rather see two kids get into a fist fight than a kid show up at a school with an AR-15.
Yep, absolutely. I would too. I would rather two kids scrap it out in a yard somewhere.
Yeah.
And the worst thing that happens is somebody knock a tooth out.
Exactly.
At least the two of you still have your lives, you know?
Exactly. And you can move on and move past it.
Yeah.
You know, you always saw the old 80s cliche at 3 o'clock that someone's watching the clock because they got to meet the bully by the bike stand, you know?
Yeah.
I got in schoolyard fights all the time, and I ended up becoming friends with those people. And if not friends, we at least had respect for one another.
Yeah.
And they left me alone, or they left whoever they were picking on alone.
Yeah. Yeah. 15-year-old male is in custody after he allegedly opened fire Thursday evening and killed several people, including a police officer. On Thursday of last week at approximately 5:55 p.m., Raleigh police announced there was an active shooting investigation in is this the Neuse River Greenway area, Bruiser?
Yes.
Okay. During a press briefing Thursday evening, Raleigh Mayor Marianne Baldwin said 5 people were killed and 2 others were injured in the shooting that started at approximately 5 p.m. One of the fatalities included an off-duty Raleigh Police Department officer, and a canine officer was reportedly injured. At 8 p.m., Raleigh police reportedly said they had a suspect contained, and he was later taken into custody. On Friday of last week, Raleigh Police Chief Estella Patterson provided additional details about the shooting. She identified the suspect as a 15-year-old white male and said he is in critical condition. Patterson said during the press conference Friday, "My heart is heavy because we don't have answers as to why this tragedy occurred." She also called the shooting a senseless gun crime. The 5 deceased victims have been identified as 52-year-old Nicole Connors, 49-year-old Susan Carnetz, 35-year-old Mary Marshall, 29-year-old Raleigh police officer Gabriel Torres, and a 16-year-old male. 59-year-old Marcel Gardner was injured and is in critical condition. Though Torres was off duty at the time, he was reportedly on his way to work when the shooting occurred. WTVD-TV identified the injured officer as Casey Joseph Clark. Patterson said he was released from the hospital after receiving treatment. According to Patterson, the crime scene was expansive and extended for about 2 miles. Patterson said officers engaged in a long standoff with the suspect before he was ultimately apprehended. It was not immediately clear if the suspect's injuries were self-inflicted or not. The investigation remains ongoing. A sad story indeed. I don't know why they wouldn't report whether the injuries were self-inflicted or not.
That always bothered me too when they're reporting.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why they didn't say if it was or not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess because of the age of the perpetrator, I guess they want to keep that.
I can see that, but that's normally just to keep the name out of the news. You know, they've said the suspect died of self-inflicted gunshot wounds for younger.
Yeah.
Gunmen. So,
true.
Yeah. The whole time that they're reporting on it, this always baffled me. I'm like, maybe it's because they're afraid of backlash if it was law enforcement.
Well, I guess
caused it.
Too. They don't want to glorify. They don't want to glorify the whole, shooter suicide scenario. The going out in a blaze of glory type deal.
Yeah.
So there could be that as well. We move on. We go to Missouri, where a man is accused of killing a woman whose body was found under a rug in a closet. Very interesting indeed. We go to Columbia, Missouri.
Not a good place to hide a body.
No.
Someone's going to find it.
No, yeah, not exactly original. We go to Columbia, Missouri, where a 37-year-old man has been arrested and charged after the body of a female victim was found concealed in a closet. According to a news release from the Columbia Police Department, on October 10th at approximately 3:40 p.m., officers responded to the 1700 block of High Quest Drive to a report of a missing person at risk. At the scene, authorities found the victim's body, and there was evidence that she had suffered blunt force trauma to the head. Authorities told KOMU-TV the body was located under a rug with a wheelchair on top of it.
No one's going to see this.
Yeah, just ignore the huge lump under the wheelchair. That nothing to see there. Due to the nature and severity of the woman's injuries, police were not able to positively identify the victim. Yikes.
Wow, what did he do to her? Ooh.
But police say they have a good idea who she might be. Oh, my God.
Hey, this guy went to town.
Upon further investigation, the suspect was reportedly identified as Adam Connor. Connor, his mother, and the victim all lived together in the same home, KOMU reports, and the mother was the one who reported the victim missing. Connor allegedly told his mother to stay out of the garage because of a raccoon. Oh, my God. He reportedly prevented entry into the garage by barricading the door with a chair and a 40-pound bag of bird feed blocking a closet door within the garage. According to court documents obtained by KOMU, the victim wore a medical alarm, and it sent out multiple alerts on Saturday, October 8th. Firefighters reportedly responded to the home, and Connor told them the victim was in the hospital.
Then why are the medical alerts coming from here? This kid did not think this out. This guy did not think this out, did he?
No, he's not the brightest bulb on the tree, that's for sure.
No.
Connor was arrested and charged with second-degree murder, armed criminal action, and tampering with physical evidence, as according to police. On Wednesday, October 12th, Connor was denied bond. According to KOMU, he is scheduled to appear in court on November 10th.
Yeah, definitely did not think that crime through.
No, not at all.
Or maybe thought the crime through, but just not the after effect.
That's true. Very true. And before we go to break, one more story here. A 79-year-old New York man was arrested after allegedly stabbing his in-laws to death 33 years prior.
So, cold case found out, huh?
It's been walking free for 33 years.
Oh, yeah, it's that cold case. Now that DNA is coming around and all these new scientific things, all these old cases are coming to light.
We go to Syracuse, New York, where a 79-year-old New York man was recently arrested in connection with the 1989 double killing of his in-laws in their Vermont home. According to a news release from the Vermont State Police, you know they have nothing going on in Vermont when they can solve a 33-year-old crime.
They have nice shrubbery, nice foliage.
Nice shrubbery.
That's nice foliage. Every time I talk to somebody from New Hampshire or Vermont or that area, I go, so what do you guys got up there? We have nice foliage.
We have nice foliage. It's a nice way of saying we got nothing going on up here.
Exactly.
According to that news release on September 17th of 1989, a neighbor found 76-year-old George Peacock and 73-year-old Catherine Peacock dead in their home on U.S. Route 7 in Danby, Vermont. The victims had reportedly been stabbed multiple times. Police said there was no signs of forced entry, and there were no items of significance missing from the residence. 2 weeks after the victims' bodies were found, Michael Louise, who was married to one of the Peacock's daughters, was identified as a suspect, police said. Investigators developed circumstantial evidence tying Louise to the victims' deaths, but they were unable to establish a conclusive link, according to police. In May of 2020, police said investigators were able to confirm a DNA match to George Peacock, that DNA,
see,
through a spot of blood located in Louise's vehicle in October of 1989. The blood sample had been tested earlier in the investigation, but it was inconclusive at the time. On Thursday, October 13th, Louise was arrested at his home in Syracuse, New York, and charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder. He was booked into a New York jail and awaiting extradition to Vermont for his arraignment.
Do you think he said something to the police like, well, wouldn't you want to stab your in-laws? Come on, man.
Come on, you've never been there before? Which probably got a dead silence in the room.
Probably, yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Come on, I've been there, but I've never done it.
See, I love my in-law. Well, my father-in-law passed, but my mother-in-law is great.
See? That just goes to show you not everybody wants to stab their in-laws. All right, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, an Indiana 5th grade Catholic school teacher had allegedly created a kill list of students and staff, which just goes to show you not every teacher loves their students. Don't believe the hype. And a self-described incel is pleading guilty to plotting a mass shooting of women, which just goes to show you not every guy who stays at home is a nice guy. That's all coming up next right here. Ripped from the headlines on a True Crime Tuesday. It's coming up next. Welcome back to the best in true crime podcasting. This is True Crime Tuesday. It's Ripped from the headlines on a Tuesday. Tim Dennis along with Beer City Bruiser. Bruiser, did you go to Catholic school by chance?
No, I did not, but I did do what is that, CCD, communion?
Yes.
I did do that. So I have gone to, I guess that would be Catholic. I didn't go to I went to a public school, but yeah. I did do that.
Yep.
I knew a lot of people. I went to a Catholic school.
My dad, my uncles and aunts, they all went to Catholic school. I heard nightmares about the, well, of course, you met my Uncle Robert last week. He'll tell you nightmare stories about the nuns and the rulers and all that other stuff.
My dad went to Catholic school, and his handwriting is so sloppy because they think he's naturally left-handed.
Yes.
But in Catholic school, that was against...
You didn't do that.
You didn't do that.
Right.
So that's why he writes with his right hand.
Yep.
And it's sloppy. It's terrible. But he does everything else with his left hand.
Yep.
So they think that he was left-handed the whole time, but because he went to a Catholic school, they forced him to do that.
That's right. They make you right-handed. There's other things, evidently, they do at Catholic school that they don't tell you about, including writing kill lists.
Yeah, this is a first for me.
I don't think they write those out on the blackboard, though.
No, well, they have dry erase boards now, so.
Yeah, they're dry erase boards. Forgive me for that one. 25-year-old fifth grade teacher at a Catholic school in East Chicago, Illinois. I'm sorry, Indiana. I want to say Chicago, Illinois, but it's Chicago, Indiana. East Chicago, Indiana.
It's still the same shitty state. Well, I don't like states that begin with I.
It's just a continuation, really. East Chicago, Indiana. 25-year-old fifth grade teacher at a Catholic school there was arrested after allegedly creating a list of people she wanted to kill. Man.
Why do that?
I don't,
I never got kill lists.
There's times where I forget things. I'm going to the store and I go, you know what? Maybe I should type it in my phone. You know what? There's a few things I need at the store. I need to pick up my meds. I need, I'd like to pick up some grapes. Maybe I need, I need lunch meat, or I need, I should pick up this or that, or, hey, I could use some milk, or, oh, by the way, I need to kill the cashier. That never comes up, I
didn't know what a kill list was until Billy Madison. Remember in the movie Billy Madison, the kid had the Steve Buscemi's character had the kill list?
Yeah.
I didn't know what that was. Because it never crossed my mind. I mean, there's people I dislike, but I've never once thought, I'm going to write a list.
Right. And if you've got that many people that you need to put it on a list, maybe anger management's in your future.
Maybe you need to look internally. Right. In this case, maybe teaching isn't for you.
Right. Maybe teaching was one of those careers you should have skipped. Maybe think of a more solitary career like digging ditches, but don't put people in them. Things like that.
She probably grew up, I could be a teacher. Wait, I have to deal with kids? Come on.
Those little bastards.
Indiana Jones never dealt with kids.
That's right. Well,
he did.
He dealt with one in that final movie. It was his own.
Well, Temple of the Doom he dealt with Short Stack, but that wasn't a student.
Yeah.
Or Short Round.
Short round. Yeah. I love Short Stacks, by the way, over at IHOP. You ever get them?
IHOP.
Really?
I refuse to eat. That's the restaurant I refuse to eat at.
Is it because you think it's dirty?
Every time I've eaten there, I've gotten sick.
Really? Oh, you and intern Yoko would get along famously.
Mrs. Bruiser says it was because I was so drunk when I went in there, but I say no, it's the food.
She's going to love this episode. See, I love me some IHOP. I've never had a bad experience there.
I've had nothing but bad experience. I'll take a Waffle House or a Denny's over an IHOP any day.
See, I love Waffle House, but we don't have them here.
I have one right across the street from my gym, so every time I leave the gym, it's like, I had it last week.
I would love me some grits. I would love me some grits right now.
I took Mrs. Bruiser on date night. We went to Waffle House.
Grits with butter and sugar. It's probably why I got a heart condition. Anywho.
But you don't have a kill list, so you're a one-up on this person.
Well, I do have a kill list. It's my heart. That's what I have. It's the only thing on my kill list. And I kill it with grits with butter and sugar. According to a news release from the East Chicago Police Department, on Wednesday, October 12th at around 5 p.m., officers responded to St. Stanislaus School. You say many prayers to St. Stanislaus, by the way?
No, but what's he the saint of, I'm wondering?
We could look that up. I should know that, being a good Catholic boy.
I was going to say, you're an altar boy for 3 years. You should know this. Don't they make you remember all? Isn't there like a test when you become an altar boy and all the saints?
There is, but I ignored it.
There's a little cruiser going, Saint Nick gives me gifts.
Yeah, I know that one. I know that
Saint Paul is one of the Twin Cities.
Yeah, it is. And Saint Benedict is on my medal when I go ghost hunting. Saint Stanislaus is the... Let's see.
Patron saint of good food. That's what I'm going with.
Saint Stanislaus is a church in St. Paul. Stanislaus Kostka is a Polish novice of the Society of Jesus. He is venerated in the Catholic Church as Saint Stanislaus Kostka. He was born in... Well, let's just go to his Wikipedia page, shall we?
He has a Wikipedia page. Okay.
He does. He's a big deal. I don't know if you heard this or not, but he's a saint. Yeah. He's venerated in the Catholic Church as Saint Stanislaus Kostka, as distinct from his namesake, the 11th century bishop of Krakow, Stanislaus the Martyr. Oh, he's a martyr.
Oh, he's a martyr.
Yeah. Don't hang him. He's a martyr.
Yeah.
Let's see. He was born in Poland on October 28th, 1550, died in Rome during the night of August 14th through the 15th. It took him a while to die. In 1568, he entered the Society of Jesus in Rome on his 17th birthday and is said to have foretold his death a few days before it occurred.
That makes you a saint now?
I guess. Let's see. What the heck did he do?
He predicted his own death.
His death. On the evening of the Feast of St. Lawrence, Stanislaus fell ill with a high fever and clearly saw that his last hour had come. He wrote a letter to the Blessed Virgin begging her to call him to the skies there to celebrate with her the glorious anniversary of her Assumption, which is August 15th. His confidence in the Blessed Virgin, which had already brought him many favors, was this time again rewarded. On the 15th of August, 1568, towards 4 o'clock in the morning, while he prayed, he died. Many in the city proclaimed him a saint, and people hastened from all parts to venerate his remains and to obtain, if possible, some relics. It says here, as far as sainthood, the Holy See ratified his beatification in 1605. He was canonized in 1726. Saint Stanislaus is a popular saint of Poland, and many religious institutions have chosen him as the protector of their novitiates. The representations of him in art are quite varied. He is sometimes depicted receiving Holy Communion from the hands of angels, or receiving the infant Jesus from the hands of the Virgin, or in the midst of battle, putting to fight the enemies of his country. At times he is depicted near a fountain putting a wet linen cloth on his breast. Evidently he's hot. Yeah. He is invoked for palpitations of the heart and for dangerous cases of illness. I should pay more attention to him.
Yeah, you should probably pray to Saint Stanislaus.
Stanislaus. Yeah.
Makes me think of coleslaw for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah. I got a hankering for a barbecue sandwich with some slaw on it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So officers respond. We should get back to the story. But you got a well-rounded education on St. Stanislaus, kids, and I don't know if you could ask for anything more, really. On Wednesday, October 12th at around 5 p.m., officers responded to St. Stanislaus School. I can't even say it, Bruiser. On Indianapolis Boulevard to a report of a threat. At the scene, officers learned that a fifth grade student said a teacher, Angelica Carrasquillo Torres, spoke about killing herself, students and staff at the school, and created a list.
Wait, she spoke to a fifth grader about it?
I guess, everybody.
Hey, come here, kid. Yeah, this is between you and me. Just you and me. Don't go telling nobody. I'm thinking of offering myself and bring a couple of you little buggers with me. You in?
You in? Yeah. Come here.
Here's a list. Go see if everybody else is in. We'll meet in the parking lot at 3:00.
This barrel tastes like chocolate. That wasn't right. I'm sorry. So she created a list. She checked it twice. She allegedly said the fifth grade student was on the bottom of that list.
Oh, that makes him feel better.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
He's not at the top of the list.
The student initially told school staff, and the teacher was sent to the principal's office to talk about the incident. According to police, you've been a bad teacher.
They never covered this on Saved by the Bell.
Carrasquillo Torres allegedly admitted to making a kill list and talking about it with the student. I've been a bad teacher. The teacher was told to leave and not come back to the school pending an investigation. That's all they did?
Okay, let's just let this. She literally has a kill list. She's told a fifth grader she's going to do it. Let's just let her go home and think about it.
Yes, exactly. An emergency detention order for Carrasquillo Torres was obtained on Thursday, October 13th, and according to police, she was taken into custody. The investigation remains ongoing. Carrasquillo Torres was charged with intimidation and a threat to commit a forcible felony. Well, that's more like it.
Yeah. Now they're handling it right.
Yeah. According to their website, St. Stanislaus School is a Catholic elementary school that is dedicated to nurturing its students as opposed to killing them to achieve academic excellence within a safe, faith-filled environment.
That's how she spoke to him first.
Yeah.
She wanted to let him know, hey, you're on my list. You're at the bottom.
Yeah, it's not urgent.
Yeah, but I'm letting you know because I want you to feel safe.
You're safely at the bottom.
So right before you use this guy, you see him go, then you're not safe anymore.
Yeah, then you want to think about maybe running. Just let you know. We move on. We're moving actually towards the city of Chicago, which is nowhere near Indiana, but close. A Chicago landlord's remains were reportedly found in a freezer. Now you know how the sausage is made.
There's that new show on The Bear on Hulu where it talks about the Italian sausages and all that they make in or the hot sandwiches they make in Chicago. Oh. Now we know how they make them.
Oh, I don't want to think about that. There's some really good food in Chicago. I'm just saying, but
oh yeah, there is.
I just don't want to think about that. In Chicago, police discovered the remains of a landlord in the home's freezer this week after a concerned tenant called authorities to report the victim missing. Mm-hmm.
What a nice tenant. He must have been a really good landlord.
I guess.
If his tenants were missing, like, hey, he hasn't said anything, and I paid rent, and he hasn't come by, and he had to be a nice landlord if they knew that he wasn't there. Think about it. You just write a check to your landlord and that's it, unless something breaks.
Actually, I have a really nice landlord.
See?
If he were missing, I'd be concerned. I would be.
Well, how would you know he was missing it? You know what I mean? Unless something happened.
It's true.
You don't talk to him on like a regular basis. You talk to him
Actually,
and
I
you
do.
give him rent. Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. I talk to him at least once or twice a month. Yeah. You know, this is how nice he is. You want to hear how nice my landlord is? And actually, I'll tell you, his name is Ryan. And actually, he and his brother both own the house that I live in.
Okay.
Ryan's such a nice guy that when our washing machine broke down, instead of just having it fixed, he bought a brand new industrial washing machine and had it replaced.
Oh, nice.
And
that is a good landlord.
Yeah. And when the dishwasher broke down, you would just think, okay, have somebody come in and fix it, right?
Yeah.
A simple repair. He had a brand new dishwasher brought in and replaced it. I mean, that's pretty darn nice.
Just hope your freezer doesn't break and you open it up and there he is.
Well, no, I mean, the guy's pretty darn nice.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I have not had good, I'm trying to think. No real good landlords. I did have one when I was living in Missouri training at the Harley Race Academy. I remember his name was Jerry. Mm-hmm. And we thought he was dead every day because he was a 600-pound. He drove around on a rascal with the oxygen, and go to talk to him, and it's just and like every time we dropped off rent, we're like, we're gonna see a dead body.
Oh.
And he did pass away while I was living there.
Poor Jerry.
No, because you'd call, and I remember there was cockroaches one time, and I called, so you can call an exterminator. He's like, "Oh, just go to the hardware store and buy." I'm like, "No, you call an exterminator."
Yeah. Or just come over and wheeze at him. Maybe he talks in their language. You never know. Could be the same thing. But no, I mean, Ryan's one of the nicest landlords I've ever had.
That's good.
I mean, and like we had an issue with a down here in the basement with a egress window and some flooding. I mean, he hired an entire crew, not just to pay, because most landlords would figure out a way just to patch up the wall or figure out how to. He tore out the entire egress window.
So you would notice him missing. So I bet you this is what this landlord did then.
Yeah, I mean,
especially in Chicago, you always hear about slumlords in like Chicago or Cleveland or just different Midwest cities.
Yeah. So Chicago Police Chief of Detectives Brian Dinahan said in a news briefing, officers went to a residence on the 5900 block of North Washington. Really? This must be It must be the northern suburbs of Chicago, because I'm thinking that's the only place where they are concerned about their landlords. Yeah. When a resident who rented a room in the home called to say that's why, because they live with the landlord. Okay.
Yep.
Called to say they hadn't seen their landlord in over 24 hours. Detectives reportedly confirmed that the landlord, who was not identified, was seen in the neighborhood on Sunday. The resident who called police told investigators that there was another person in the home tenants were afraid of, who later became a suspect. Now I see why they're afraid.
Okay, so
yeah,
landlord let a sketchy character come in.
Right. The suspect reportedly called a tow truck Monday and carried a heavy bag to the truck.
Okay.
It's all coming together.
I see where it's going now.
Mm-hmm. According to Dinahan, the suspect allegedly dumped a large plastic bag in a garbage can at Foster Beach. Detectives went to the beach and found bloody towels in the garbage can. The evidence was transported to the medical examiner's office.
Yep. So they had a disagreement about something.
Yeah.
Landlord ended up in the refrigerator.
Yep. Well, back at the residence, detectives discovered human remains in the freezer. They then obtained a search warrant to retrieve evidence properly. Detectives learned the suspect pulled a knife on the tow truck driver. Oh, boy.
Oops.
Police located the suspect and took them into custody for assault. The investigation remains
These
ongoing.
killers got to learn how to stay under the radar. Like you don't just put carpeting over a dead body in a wheelchair, and you don't pull a knife on your getaway. Someone's going to drive you to dispose of evidence.
Right, right.
Those are the two people you're really nice with.
Yeah. Those, and you want to leave a big tip.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to be as least suspicious as possible.
Yeah. You want to try to get away with that deal.
Yeah.
Moving on, a self-described incel pleads guilty to plotting a mass shooting of women. Oh, God.
I hope they're called No Ma'am.
We go to Highland County, Ohio, where a man recently pleaded guilty to plotting a mass shooting of women at an Ohio university. Now, God. According to a news release from the Department of Justice, Trey Jenko, identified as an incel or involuntary celibate. That's what incel means.
Oh, these are those angry women-hating men. I know what this is. Mm-hmm. I've heard about these guys before. They basically can't get laid, and they blame women for it.
Yeah, you got it. You got it, buddy. That's what this
when
is.
you said incel, I was thinking like a group of people, like a terrorist cell.
No. This is.
But now that you're just what you just said, it's like, oh, I've heard about these guys. These are the nerds that can't get laid, so they hate women, and it's women's fault.
That's you put it a lot harsher than I would have put it, but sure.
Yeah, they're the guys that sit there and play computer games all day and wonder why women won't respond to their dick pics online and stuff. Like, just go talk to a woman. Just say hello. And I know it's hard for people, but it's not their fault if you're not making the effort.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a hi, how you doing?
Yeah.
My name is so and so, and nice shoes, 1F. No, I'm kidding. It's not that. It's it says you're mighty fine looking. Want to go to dinner?
You want me to tell you the pickup line that I got Mrs. Bruiser with?
Sure. Yeah.
So I met her at a bar.
Yeah.
After a underwater needlepoint event. Mm-hmm. And my buddy comes up and goes, "Hey, you have to meet this girl. She's got this giant Superman tattoo, and you're a big comic book fan." I said, yeah, I'll meet her. So I said hello, and I says, "You look like you need another drink." She says, "Why do you say that?" I said, "Because the more you drink, the better I look."
Really? That was what got her?
That's what got her.
Wow.
She laughed, and here we are, 13 years later.
Wow. The more you drink, the better I look.
Yeah. And then it went to, you shouldn't talk to that guy over there. She goes, "Why?" I said, "You're wearing flip-flops, and he's got a foot fetish, and he's going to be creepy." And then the guy walked up and says, "Hey, I like your sandals." And she went, "Oh," and looked at me and goes, let's go over here. I said, "Yeah, let's go over here. Let's get you another drink." So I start looking better.
And your bar tab has been hundreds of dollars a month ever since.
Oh, I didn't pay for anything.
No, I know.
I made her pay for it.
Wow.
I think I'm made for being a. Oh, yeah, she yells all the time because I made her pay for the first 2 weeks we were together. Because I was a poor, struggling wrestler. But lo and behold, here we are, and she takes all my money now. Mm-hmm. She got the house of her dreams, kitty of her dreams, puppy of her dreams, 2 cars of her dreams.
See?
It's the longest one-night stand ever, Tim. I tell you.
Yep. Sometimes it just ends up like that, bud. That's how it goes.
So anyways, back to the nerd that can't get laid.
The involuntary celibate, the incel. Trey Jenko, identified as an incel or involuntary celibate, which is an online movement, believe it or not.
Oh, yeah. This was covered on both Criminal Minds and Law & Order SVU.
Yeah. Comprising mostly men who discuss their hatred of women. How can you hate women?
Because they're scared of them. They're terrified of women, and they don't approach women, and they don't know how to talk to women. So instead, they blame women, that it's the women's fault that these guys aren't getting any dates or any action or anything. That they're perfect.
Seriously?
That's if you read the literature about it, it's all about how it's women's fault because they're perfect and women should be coming to them. Yeah. Like we all go through dry spells, I get it, but come on. There's so many ways to meet people nowadays too.
There is. It's easier now than it ever was.
Yeah, it's not like it was when we were young little whippersnappers or a cruiser, like where we actually had to leave the house and go to a bar or a laundromat or a grocery store. No, now you can actually just pick up your phone and ask 20 different women out on a dating app.
Yeah. I was sitting watching. We all went out to eat as a family after my nephew's football game, and I was sitting watching my brother lining up dates.
Yeah.
On his phone. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm going to coffee with this girl," and I was like, "Wow, she's really good looking." Yeah, and I'm like, "Wow, I wish I would have had that technology when I was younger."
Everybody nowadays is on their cell phone. I give my youngest credit because she went on it. She's in college and she went on a date, and I get worried because she's my daughter. Mm-hmm. She says, "Dad, you have nothing to worry about." I said, "Why? What happened?" She says, "Well, he took me to this bar, which is a local college bar, and they have really good food. In fact, we went there when I went to visit her. Great food."
Yeah.
And I says, "Okay." She says, "Yeah, I left after 15 minutes." I said, "Really? Is everything okay?" She says, "He wouldn't get off his phone. He just sat on his phone the whole time." She goes, "If you don't want to have a conversation with me, then I don't want to waste my time." And she left.
Yeah.
And I said, "Good for you."
Yeah. Yeah.
Then she met him in a class. It wasn't, she doesn't believe in all that. She believes in the old school way because then you can actually find out who a person is. And,
right. Yeah.
I mean, we all lie on a first date anyways, but
we do.
Think about it. You put your best foot forward. It's not like you show up picking your nose and farting right away. I mean, I did.
Well, yeah, that's true. There's that. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we put our best foot forward, but
you want to put it's just like shopping. You don't put the box that's all banged up on the top shelf. You put that on the bottom.
True.
Put the shimmering one up there.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Unless you're an incel, you don't leave your house. You just sit on the internet and complain about how women don't talk to you.
That's true.
This really triggers me. I don't know why.
No, and it should. I mean, it astounds me. I mean,
when I saw this episode, I looked it up to see if it was a real thing. Like I'll have to tell Mrs. Bruiser when she listens, hey, you listen to the episode, we talk about incels, and she goes, "Oh, the nerds that can't get laid," and yeah, because that's what I call them. Like,
well, it's in this day and age, I can't believe it's a movement. That's the thing. I mean,
yeah,
I mean it just because okay. It's only,
and I'm not trying to offend anybody. But
no, I'm not either. It's just
if you're celibate. That's a choice. When you're voluntary celibate, that I can get behind. You're choosing not to have sex. Okay, cool. But the involuntary is what I don't like. It's involuntary because you're not going out and trying to do anything. Well, it's not like you're being forced to be celibate.
And I saw I've seen many stories actually on national news that say that that the age group of, 18 to 25 or 18 to 29 or whatever it is now is having less sex now than 20 years ago that same age group was having. And they're saying it has everything to do from being on phones to video games to all this other stuff. But it's easier now to date than it ever has been. So they don't understand where the divide is.
The problem is like my daughter said, they get together. So they swipe whatever way you got to swipe. They meet for coffee, like your brother meets that girl for coffee. Mm-hmm. But instead of sitting down and having a conversation with one another, they're quickly taking pictures of their coffee cups and posting on Instagram, taking pictures of their food. Everything's social media because you have to let the world know everything you're doing right now, instead of just sitting in the moment and enjoying yourself with another person's company and finding out about that other person. If you think about it, when we were young and dating, like you had to sit down and have a meal and actually talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah. And, there was nervousness, there was butterflies, there was whatever. And then you found out within the first 10, 15 minutes whether you actually were getting along with that person or not.
Yeah.
You got over the awkwardness and you decided whether you actually wanted a second date or if that was it.
I have friends that are girls because our first date was so awkward.
Yeah.
That we realized we're more friends than we are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So not only are you, you're not having sex out of it, but you're meeting people and you're expanding. And I'm still friends to this day. In fact, one of the girls, her son is a huge fan of mine, and it blew her son's mind when she goes, "Oh yeah, no, I know him." And she called me on the phone, and we're just, we haven't talked in a while, and just you hear the son in the background, "Oh my God," and I said, "Come by and show him. I'm in your, this town here. Come on, bring him by." And he couldn't believe that. I've known her since we were 15.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's crazy, it's I don't know. I don't get I don't know. I just don't get that separation of
it's social media 100%. People care more about their social media personas than they do about real life. So when they meet these people, it's more about, let me show the world I'm meeting this person than actually meeting that person and getting to know them.
I guess.
That's my theory.
Yeah. No,
that's just from the observation, because I'm still that, I have social media because of my career is why I had it.
Yeah.
I didn't have it, and then Ring of Honor is like, well, you need a TikTok, you need a Twitter, you need, okay. So I got all that. Mm-hmm. It's now to the point where Mrs. Bruiser and I, we have a rule where if we have date night, mm-hmm. no cell phones.
Yeah.
It's just the two of us. We go out, we go to some Waffle House, mm-hmm. and it's just the two of us. Yep. And we sit there and we have a conversation.
Yeah.
And there's times where we'll be watching TV and we'll realize, hey, we're on our phone too much. Tonight's the night, no cell phones. And we'll sit and watch the movie, or we'll talk, or we'll do whatever we have to do, because that's how you connect with somebody again.
Right.
I'm sure you and Intern Yoke are the same way, where you have to connect.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do it.
And I'm glad I instilled that in my children, where they do that, where my daughter was actually offended because this guy wouldn't put his phone down.
Yeah. 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 Oh, I've seen it in plenty of places too. Yeah. Yeah. So with this story, I suppose we should get to the story here. So this Trey Jenko, okay, involuntary celibate, online movement comprising mostly men who discuss their hatred of women. Jenko reportedly used a popular incel website from around July of 2019 through mid-March of 2020, where he posted hundreds of times. In one instance, the Department of Justice said Jenko posted about spraying some foids and couples with orange juice and a water gun. The term foids is short for femoids, which is an incel term for women.
Yep. Oh, yeah, too. And the incels, too, get angry at couples.
What?
I read that, too. Yeah, they get angry at couples because that woman chose that man instead of them.
What?
Yeah. Yeah. Cruiser, I'm telling you, I get fired up with these incels.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so it says here, according to the Department of Justice in the post, Jenko compared himself to Elliot Rodger, the man who killed 6 people and injured 14 others in 2014 outside a University of California, Santa Barbara sorority house. Before the mass shooting, Rodger shot a group of college students with orange juice.
Which, I don't get that.
In a manifesto, the Department of Justice said Jenko stated he would slaughter women out of hatred, jealousy, and revenge, proclaiming that the deaths would be the great equalizer.
Revenge for what? You never spoke to these women.
Right. They don't even know you exist.
Yeah. And it's not their fault. You're not doing anything to exist.
That's right. You're not a blip on anyone's radar.
Yeah. Put yourself out there.
According to the...
And I understand it's hard for people to put themselves out there, but don't blame other people if you're not taking the chance to put yourself out there.
That's right. That's right. According to the Department of Justice, authorities found a note Jenko wrote indicating that he wanted to aim big, in quotes, and kill 3,000 people. And he referenced the same date as Rogers' attack near the University of California. And that's University of California, Santa Barbara. In the note, he reportedly claimed he intended to go through military training. Well, don't get near any women while you're doing it.
That'd be amazing if you had a female drill sergeant during basic.
That would be, wouldn't it? It'd screw them all up. He'd have all kinds of feelings, wouldn't he? The same day Jenko wrote the manifesto, he searched various sororities and a university in Ohio online, according to the Department of Justice. In 2019, Jenko bought military supplies and gear, including tactical gloves, a bulletproof vest, cargo pants, a Bowie knife, a skull face mask, 2 Glock 17 magazines, a 9mm Glock 17 clip, a holster clip, concealed carry for a Glock. This according to the Department of Justice again. Jenko reportedly went to Army basic training in Georgia for several months in 2019, but guess what? He was discharged.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
Nearly a month after being discharged, the DOJ said Jenko wrote a document he titled Isolated. He reportedly signed the document, Your Hopeful Friend and Murderer. On January 15th, 2020, Jenko surveilled a university in Ohio and did an online search for planning a shooting crime. And when does preparing for a crime become an attempt? Deputies with the Highland County Sheriff's Office responded to Jenko's home on March 12th of 2020, found a firearm, a bump stock attached, several loaded magazines, body armor, boxes of ammunition in the trunk of his car, and much, much more. During a search of his residence, authorities also reportedly found a modified Glock-style 9mm semi-automatic pistol with no manufacturer's marks or serial number. Jenko was then arrested in July of 2021 and remains in custody. On Tuesday, October 11th, the Department of Justice announced that Jenko pleaded guilty to 1 count of attempting to commit a hate crime. Since Jenko intended to kill, the charge is reportedly punishable by up to life in prison.
So now he can be an incel in prison, even though Big Bubba's going to make sure he doesn't remain celibate.
I think he's going to find out what it's like to be a woman.
Turns out he's not an incel. He's just into men.
That's right. In a statement, attorney Kenneth L. Parker for the Southern District of Ohio said, hate has no place in our country, including gender-based hate. And we will continue to work with our law enforcement partners to vigorously prosecute any such conduct.
Lock them up. Throw away the key.
That's right. Let's end Ripped from the headlines on a good note, shall we?
Yes.
Has to do with a missing Colorado teen who was found safe after going missing at a high school football game. I know it's a parent's worst nightmare when a teen goes missing. And the statistics are out there, Bruiser, that when a teen or a child goes missing, within the first 72 hours, it's virtually impossible to get that child back.
Yeah.
But this one ended in a good way. The original story goes as such. Police were asking the public for help in locating a missing 14-year-old girl who was last seen at her high school football game with some older and sketchy-looking men. According to the Boulder Police Department, Chloe Campbell went missing on Friday, September 30th. Some of her friends reportedly received messages from her saying she was safe with a family in Arizona and does not want to return home. Police, however, have been unable to confirm if these messages are in fact from Chloe or true. Chloe's father, David Campbell, told KDVR-TV that the alleged messages from Chloe are suspicious because we do not have family in Arizona. Boulder police said Chloe's disappearance does not meet the criteria to issue an Amber Alert, but detectives are growing increasingly concerned about the teen's safety. It is believed that she has no access to money or her medication. Investigators reportedly believe Chloe might be with an adult male. David said his family has become very concerned when she did not come home from school on September 30th, and he learned she was seen with two older men at lunchtime at Boulder High School. She was reportedly seen with them at the school's football game that evening. David told KDVR these men were described as being sketchy and too old to be high school students. CBS Colorado reported that David and his family received a photo of Chloe from an unknown Snapchat handle, and David said the teen looked injured and unwell. Chloe's mother called for her safe return, saying, "We love you so much. You are not in trouble. You can come home, and please do. If you can't, we will not stop until we find you." Now, the update on the story is that Boulder police announced that Chloe Campbell was found safe at a home in Thornton, Colorado, which is just north of Denver, and was taken to a hospital for medical evaluation. So Chloe is safe and all is well.
Did they say what happened? Did it come out?
They didn't.
What happened to her?
They didn't. They didn't
did.
say what
Okay.
had happened, just that she had been found safe. So
I'm curious was she kidnapped? Did she run away? I'm curious what the after will be.
Right.
I mean, it's good she's safe. That's, you don't want the Gabby Petito situation again.
Right. Exactly. And you're exactly right there, my friend. But unfortunately, no details. No details in that deal there. I wonder if we should read this story. Well, you know what? We'll read this story in Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals, although it seems... No, you know what? We'll read this. I know I said we were going to end on a good note, but you know what? No, we'll read this one in Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals. We'll do this. We'll make the transition right now. It is time now for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals.
It's Crayon News story time.
What happened with this dude, Christ Bearer? I heard he cut his penis off and then jumped off a balcony.
Suspect pulls gun from butt, shoots twice at Denver police.
What is your emergency?
I need help.
And what's the problem?
I'm too high.
You're too high?
Yeah.
It's that time once again for Dumb Crimes and Stupid Criminals, the segment you've been waiting for all program long, where we try to lighten it up a bit. But Bruiser, I'll tell you, we're not going to lighten it up just yet. We do get. By the way, if you have a story for Dumb Crimes, Stupid Criminals, you can always submit it to me at tim@darknessradio.com. We do get stories from our listeners, and we appreciate them very much. This one came in from a listener. I believe it came in from Tom, our buddy Tom. Who
good old Tom,
good old Tom
throws those at us.
Yeah, this from the state of Florida. Surprisingly,
so it's going to involve nudity, drugs, stuff like that.
You're close. You're close. A Florida bodybuilder is accused of incinerating his ex-wife in the backyard. Of course, it had to do with some sort of brutality, and it had to do with Florida. So there you go.
You shouldn't incinerate your ex-wife.
No, it's probably...
Once you're divorced, let's move on.
Yeah, divorce should not involve a bonfire. I just know that much.
Well, it should, but it shouldn't involve their corpse. It should involve their stuff.
Yeah, their stuff. Yeah, you want to burn their clothes, but not them in their clothes. Yeah.
No. Yeah. He forgot a step.
Yeah, exactly.
I like how they're throwing that he's a bodybuilder out there too. Like, why does that matter?
Yeah, well, I think to kind of, enhance the stereotype a little bit. Yeah. Rage. Yeah,
Which is a myth. It's a myth.
You think?
I've taken them. Yes, it's a myth.
Yeah, it's a myth. Yeah, I figured as much. And I've been on some testosterone shots from time to time to enhance my fat. And never gotten angry. So
yeah, I've dabbled.
Yeah,
a little more than dabbled, but yeah, it's a myth.
It's a myth. Florida bodybuilder has been charged with the gruesome death of his ex-wife this past week after being accused of incinerating her body in a backyard. 43-year-old Ian Christopher Bonnock, a former Marine, was arraigned on Monday on first-degree murder charges in the death of Katie Bonnock. The last time Katie was seen alive was on September 29th when a friend claims she said she intended to go to Ian's to get some of her things but never returned. Yikes.
It's because he was burning them in the backyard.
Yeah, see, she happened upon the bonfire.
Like, hey, that's my favorite Apple Watch.
Yeah, yikes. Police were called to Ian's home the next day where they discovered Katie's car parked outside, but he refused to let them in. Once officers revisited the residence with a warrant, Katie's car was gone. Surprise, surprise. It's magic.
Oh, gee, I wonder where it went.
It's a big David Blaine trick.
Yes.
Yeah, made the car disappear.
Do you think he tried to do the Jedi mind trick? This is not the car you're looking for.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not the car you're looking for.
You didn't see a car here, officer. I don't know what you're talking about. She left. Once inside Ian's home, detectives say they noticed signs of a struggle and evidence of blood stains. Well, you can't clean everything up in a short amount of time.
No, you can't.
Just saying.
Do you think he goes, hey, how long will it take you to get a warrant? 2 hours? Thanks.
I can't find a maid service in 2 hours. Officers say they also found an AR-15 upper receiver and 13 silencers.
Oh, wow. You don't need that many. For one gun, you don't need that many silencers, sir.
Unless you really need to keep it quiet. A Glock Model 27, a 40 caliber pistol, and inside a plastic bag on a bookshelf inside a safe. Boy, he was really trying to hide things. Katie's engagement ring and wedding ring were there as well. Detectives say they found human remains outside of Ian's home, including a jawbone with a tooth still intact and a fresh burn pile that smelled like flesh, according to docs, which was near a 50-gallon barrel. How long did it take him to get this search warrant? Yikes.
Yeah.
The bodybuilder contends he never killed her, claiming she disappeared. Ian, however, did admit the two got into an argument over another woman.
So then, I don't get how he thinks he's going to get away with this. Like, they found all that evidence, and he's like, oh, no, I never saw her. I think he thinks he's a Jedi.
Yeah, she tripped and fell, officer.
These are not the remains you're looking for.
No. Ian was taken into custody 2 days after Katie's death and was charged with first-degree premeditated murder, deconstruction and concealment of physical evidence, and cremating a dead body. Ian pled not guilty to the charges in Tampa court this week. Last month.
What's he thinking? He's going to get away with this? Like, everything is pointing to him.
Oh, yeah. Even the animals in the backyard were pointing at him when the cops were there. Yeah. Last month, Katie filed a restraining order against Ian after accusing him of abusing one of their children. Ian also was arrested on charges of domestic battery by strangulation in November of 2021. So there's priors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yep, he did it. If convicted on the state charge of first-degree murder, Bonnock faces life in prison or the death penalty. My guess is old Sparky's going to get fired up pretty soon here.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Lightening it up here. I mean, not old Sparky, but lightening up the mood.
You're lighting up old Sparky, huh?
Yes. Lightening up the mood and handing out the Mother of the Year award, if you're ready for this. It's going to be an interesting Mother of the Year award. I don't know, Bruiser. You have tattoos.
Oh, I love my tattoos.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. And you have children, so I'm going to tie the two together.
And all my children have tattoos.
Okay. What was the youngest age you let your children get tattoos at?
18, because they had to pay for it themselves. I'd help them, but 18. 18. Okay. I would have signed off if earlier, but no, it was 18.
How early would you sign off on that tattoo?
Okay. I'm scared of how. I'm scared of these questions there, Cruiser. You're walking a fine line. What does Mother of the Year do? No, 17 would be or maybe 16. Maybe 16? Okay. Maybe. Okay, maybe. Probably not. 16's pretty young to make a permanent decision, but I get it. What 18 was 18 maybe, but 18, they're all 18. I didn't. Right. They were hemming and hawing at 17, but they knew at 18 they could. Yeah, and 18's a good age. 18's a good age. I could see like a memorial tattoo for a grandparent or something like that. That's what I think is what they were hemming and hawing, is because they called him Bubba.
Yeah.
When he passed.
Yeah. I could see that at 16 or 17. Like if you wanted,
I think that's what it was, and we're like, no, just wait till 18.
Yeah, to make sure that that's something you want to do. I understand.
And now they all have. My rule with tattoos, and I offer this to everybody as advice. Get a tattoo that means something to you, so that when you look back on it, it brings back a good memory.
Yeah.
Not something you regret.
Right.
Because I have tattoos that people are like, you have that? I'm like, yeah, because it was a time period in my life that I want to remember forever.
Right.
And that's what all my kids did. Minus the fact they decided it's a sibling tattoo, because that's a thing.
Yeah.
'Cause my brother and sister and I have that, but they went and they got butt tattooed on their butt in different languages.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
On their butt cheek. It says butt cheek on their butt.
It says butt cheek on their butt.
In different languages.
Different languages.
And that was their sibling tattoo. And I said, and I asked them, I said, is that something that, and they said, yeah, every time we see it, we'll laugh, because it's the three of them and they have it.
That's interesting. Well, sometimes you abuse the privilege, and I don't know if that's one of those times, but what do you think?
I was all for it, because I for a time period was going to get a UPC code of Dinty Moore beef stew on my butt and then check myself out at a Walmart self-checkout. I just didn't want to pay for it. And so I always left it out there. People wanted to pay for it. Because that was my early gimmick, if you remember, in wrestling. I was Dinty Moore.
Yeah,
so I wanted to get the UPC code on my butt cheek.
Would you still do it?
Oh, yeah, somebody else paid for it. I'm not paying for it, but somebody else paid for it. I'd definitely do it.
All right, let's open it up let's open it up right now. If anybody wants to pay for Bruiser's Dinty Moore UPC code
on my butt, I will scan it at a self-checkout.
There you go. We'll get him down. What's the is it Publix down there in North Carolina? What's the
we have Food Lion, we have Harris Teeter, we have Walmart. Okay. Target. Yeah.
We'll find a grocery store down there, and we will videotape you getting scanned.
Oh, Mrs. Bruiser's yelling somewhat. Publix. Yeah, we have Publix.
Okay. All right. So we'll get you scanned. Yeah.
I've been. This has been for 20 some years now. I've always said this because it's a time period in my life that I'm proud of. So
better yet, if we have someone who is a tattoo artist down in the area, in the North Carolina, South Carolina area, or even. How far would you travel to get tattooed?
if I'm booked on a show, okay, because I'm going to Kansas and I'm going to Missouri in November, and I'm going to Wisconsin. I'm going back to Wisconsin in December.
Okay.
So if I'm in the area, yeah.
All right.
I'll arrange my flight schedule so I can do it.
All right. So if we've got tattoo artists in any of those states who want to tattoo the UPC symbol for Dinty Moore on Bruiser,
it's got to be the big can because I'm a big guy.
Okay, it's
got to be in a little can. You know what I mean? The big family size can. Yep.
Big famous size can. And you want to step up and
my right butt cheek
on his right butt cheek, by all means. And we'll make a video of it, and we will we'll advertise your business right here on Darkness Radio.
Yeah, I'll do it.
We'll trade out advertising for your business right here on the show if you'll do that.
I love tattoos, so this has been. Like I said, a friend of mine is the one that brought it up. He goes, "Would you ever do that?" I says, "Yeah." I said, "I wouldn't pay for it, but if somebody pays for it." So we tried to get a couple people to do it. We were really close one time, and the person dropped out. They, I even had a tattoo artist all lined up, and they backed out.
All right, so that's the deal. Contact me, tim@darknessradio.com. I will forward the emails to Bruiser if you are a tattoo artist in either North Carolina, Kansas, or Wisconsin.
Or South Carolina. I'm only 20 minutes from South Carolina. Okay. Virginia. Tennessee.
All right.
Georgia.
All right, you got it. So if you're willing to do so, we're willing to advertise your business right here on the show. And we'll do some.
And I will, if I get it, I will show anybody that wants to see. I'll show any of my tattoos.
We'll also line it up so he will get scanned on. Scanned on video, and we'll put it up on our videos page on darknessradioshow.com.
I'll do it Instagram live while I do it too.
There you go. So there you
Mrs.
go.
Bruiser, hold the camera. Because she's known about this ever since she met me.
There you go. We'll get it done. We will get it done, my friend. So,
Because she is also a huge fan of tattoos and has a full sleeve and, like I said, a big, huge Superman tattoo. So
all right, we're getting this done, man.
I'm in.
All right.
In fact, a person that we both know, the reason that we met, Ian, was there when that conversation was happening. That's how long ago this had come up. Like,
All right, man.
I think he was in the room when the initial conversation happened, if I remember correctly. So that's kind of how we can tie it to you and me. Is that I think he was in the initial conversation. So.
All right. All right. So this will be the second dumbest thing I'm about to read. A mom has been arrested for letting her 10-year-old son get a large tattoo on his arm.
Why would you? No, that's too young.
Yeah. A New York woman has been arrested for allowing her 10-year-old son. I'm not getting arrested, by the way, for the Dinty Moore thing on your behind.
Well, I'm of age and I'm giving consent.
That's true. Yeah. Just saying.
You just have to find an artist that will do that area. Some won't do that area.
They won't do the buttocks.
Because whenever you get tattoos, you have time to talk to the artist. And I've had two really good artists that have been working on me, and one of them's name is Matt. And I asked him, so what's the weirdest tattoo you ever had? He says, well, I had a guy come in, he wanted a smiley face on his wiener. I said, really? He says, yeah. He says, I put one dot on, and the guy tapped out. I said, oh. He says, so I just told him, just go around and tell people you have a one-eyed Willie.
Nice.
He said he got the needle right there. He got the first eye on, and the guy tapped out.
Wow.
Yeah.
I suppose it's a painful area. It's very sensitive.
Yeah, but that's the fun part of tattoos. You gotta get through it.
True. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, well, but that's the thing. I mean, you got to commit. You know.
I don't see how a 10-year-old could sit through that. But why would you put your 10-year-old through that?
It's not the tattoo process or the pain. It's getting them to sit and take the fentanyl before. And it's really the tough part, you know.
Does this smell like chloroform to you?
Do you put it in his cornflakes or do you just make him swallow it like a man? So really, I'm kidding. It's a horrible joke, but I don't know, Bruiser. Anyhow,
I love it.
Yeah. So this New York woman has been arrested for allowing her 10-year-old son to get a large tattoo across his forearm, artwork that was spotted by a school employee who reported the illegal ink to law enforcement. The mother of the year was busted by police this month. 33-year-old Crystal Thomas.
She shouldn't have a 10-year-old.
She was busted for endangering the welfare of a child. She was booked on the misdemeanor charge and released from custody on a town court appearance ticket. Thomas's son was placed in the custody of Child Protective Services officials.
Did the artist get in trouble too? Like, what artist would do that?
Oh, I will update you on that shortly.
Okay, I was going to say, there better be something about the artist because it's a process to get a tattoo. Like, you have to do the ID and the signing and all that stuff. Like, it's not like you can just go in and go, hey, give my kid a tattoo. And the artist's like, yeah, have the little guy take his fentanyl and sit down. Well, we'll get him going.
Did you put it in the cornflakes or did he take it straight up like a man? According to police, the boy was tattooed inside a room at the hotel where Thomas and her two children reside. The Ulster County Hotel is about 100 miles north of New York City. Before inking the boy, police say the tattoo artist got permission from Thomas. The resulting tattoo, the boy's name in full-size block letters, and quote, and so he could remember his name, was inked across the child's forearm, said Chief James Janso of the town of Lloyd Police. The tattoo is large enough that you would need a sleeve to cover it up, said Janso. Officials learned of the tattoo earlier this month when the boy asked the nurse at his middle school to apply Vaseline atop the fresh ink.
No, that's not how you take care of it.
Oh. Janso described the tattoo artist as a person of interest who could face charges, including tattooing a minor and endangering the welfare of a child. The whereabouts of the male suspect, it says here, are currently unknown, but I'll tell you where he is in a second. Let me show you a picture of Mom here on her Facebook page, Bruiser, so you can just see exactly how wholesome Mom is. There she is right there.
Yeah, why do they allow her to have children?
Yeah, I don't know. She's a fine specimen of, she kind of looks like Mrs. Cleaver. I'm kidding.
Mrs. Cleaver did a lot of drugs.
So the update, as of today, 20-year-old Austin Smith was arrested over the weekend for giving the 10-year-old a permanent tattoo, charged with endangering the welfare of a child and a second misdemeanor. Smith was released from custody on a desk appearance ticket and is scheduled for a November 3rd hearing in town court.
The kid's like, Mom, I thought it was one of those tattoos you get from the 25-cent candy machine.
That hurts.
That really hurt, and it burns. And now you're making me put Vaseline on it, so my tattoo's not going to stay for a long time. It's going to fade.
And by the way, Mom, why am I so groggy? Yeah.
I love how it's his name, too. Like, does he forget his name? You should never get a name tattooed on you.
No.
My mother waited until my father had a terminal illness before she put his name on her. Unless they're your kids. That's different.
Yeah. I don't know. It's a bizarre story. Speaking of bizarre stories, we've talked about road rage in the past on this show here, Bruiser. I'm going to wait for you to finish that sip of whatever you got in your mouth before I read this. We go to Florida, of course, where, oh, dear God.
You can tell the hurricane stuff's all over, because remember last week we didn't have that many Florida stories?
Yes,
They're all Texas. Well, we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
A week later.
We're back. I guess cleanup is over. Turns out some dads shot each other's daughters in a Florida road rage gunfight. Yeah.
I'll learn you. I'm going to shoot your daughter.
You shot my daughter. Well, take this. Boom.
You didn't put your blinker on. Where's your daughter? I'm going to shoot her.
I'm telling you. Two crazy dads have been charged with attempted murder after allegedly opening fire and hitting each other's daughters in a terrifying road rage battle in Florida. You would think they'd shoot each other, not each other's daughters.
That was Tim, you realize that was a sentence you just said in 2022. That sentence is being broadcast live on the air.
Yeah. Since when is your daughter a human shield?
Well, come here, Betty Lou. You gotta protect Daddy. Daddy got cut off by that jerk. You gotta protect him.
I'll take
it. Only stings. There's a 10-year-old who's got a tattoo. Come on, you can do it.
Come on, if you take this bullet for Daddy, we'll go to Chick-fil-A afterwards.
But Daddy, it's Sunday. Well, wait till Monday.
You can hold it until Monday, can't you?
Just a bullet hole.
Oh, dear God. 35-year-old, it says here strangers, 35-year-old William Hale and 43-year-old Frank Allison shot at each other's vehicles with semi-automatic handguns during a high-speed cat-and-mouse chase late Saturday. Were finally busted when they got out and started brawling on the highway, because that's class.
I'm on bullets. Pull over.
Why not just get out and brawl first?
Well, because their daughters will jump in. You got to make sure the daughters don't jump in.
So shoot them.
Yeah, it's just a leg shot.
Okay.
You haven't you ever watched Face Off?
Yes.
No, it's Speed. It was Speed. Shoot the hostage.
Yeah. During the gun battle, Hill's, oh my gosh, no, these aren't older daughters, they're younger daughters.
Oh.
I feel bad for joking now.
I do too.
Yeah.
How old? Hold on. We have 10-year-olds getting tattoos. How old?
Not much older.
We have 10-year-olds that are hard right now.
Yeah. During the gun battle, Hale's 5-year-old daughter was hit in the leg.
Oh, that's too bad.
Allison's 14-year-old daughter was shot in the back. Oh, I don't feel so bad about that.
That's all right.
Yeah.
She'll live.
Leaving her with a collapsed lung.
Oh, now I feel bad.
Yeah, I feel bad. Yeah, I feel bad again. Nassau County Sheriff Bill Leeper said on Monday, "What's scarier than one driver with a gun? Two crazy drivers with a gun," said Leeper.
Why are so many people driving with guns?
Yeah, I don't know.
The rule should be when you have your daughter in the car, leave the gun at home.
Yeah, you should, or at least holster it. Thankfully, no one was killed in the incident, but it could have very easily turned out that way because two people were acting stupid and let their tempers get the best of them, Sheriff Leeper went on to say. There could have been two dead kids because of two stupid grown men, the sheriff also added. Leeper said the agency received multiple 911 calls with reports of people being shot at on Highway 1 near Callahan in suburban Jacksonville. One of those callers told authorities that a black Dodge Ram pickup was involved in a cat and mouse game with a gray Nissan Murano, and that another vehicle at one point was also involved ahead of the gun battle. Hale from Georgia and local man Allison were speeding and driving erratically, Leeper said, adding that the men were also brake checking, which he explained was a practice that involves getting in front of each other and applying the brakes. At one point, Hale pulled his Dodge alongside the Nissan to start shouting, just for Allison's wife, Jessica, to flick him off with her middle finger. In response, a water bottle was flung back at her.
So the mothers are involved now, too.
Yeah, the mothers are getting involved in this deal. It's a family affair, you know?
Our future is so bright.
Yeah.
We have young thugs getting tattooed and kids getting hard because they're getting shot because their moms are flipping people off and the dad says, "Hey."
Yeah. The driver of the Nissan, Allison, then grabbed his Sig Sauer 45 caliber semi-automatic handgun and fired one shot at the Dodge truck before driving away at an average speed, Leeper said, saying the driver admitted firing the shot to get out of the situation. That's not getting out of the situation. That's escalating.
Yes.
The bullet that Mr. Allison fired went into the right side near passenger door and struck a 5-year-old in the right leg. Oh.
She escalated the situation.
Hale later told officers that he heard a loud pop, but thought nothing of it until everyone started freaking out in the back seat, Leeper said. He then realized his daughter was shot. Hale then sped up and began firing several shots from his Glock 43 9mm semi-automatic handgun, semi-automatic handgun out of the driver window, the sheriff said. Hale later admitted that he shot everything that was in the magazine, 7 or 8 rounds, the sheriff said. At least 3 bullets struck the Nissan. One of the bullets went through the rear of the vehicle and struck a 14-year-old girl in the back. Both men's wives called 911 during the wild battle and agreed to pull over to meet a deputy, according to court documents. Instead, both men got out and started arguing and fighting. The deputy had to break up the fight, according to Leeper. Both men were arrested and charged with second-degree attempted murder. They were each released hours later on a $150,000 bond.
Jeez. That's a movie right there.
That is.
That's a movie.
That is. That's a Jason Statham movie.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or a Liam Neeson movie.
Yeah. Speaking of...
Well, there you go. Jason Statham and Liam Neeson are shooting at each other. There you go.
Speaking of, did you see the story over the weekend of the new old franchise that Liam Neeson is supposedly reportedly being in?
No. What?
My screwed up sentence there?
No. What?
The one that Leslie Nielsen was in.
Naked Gun?
Naked Gun.
Really? They're going to reboot Naked Gun with him, huh?
Yeah, and supposedly Liam Neeson had said, and this has been in the works for a couple of years, Liam Neeson said, if I ever star in Top Gun, that's the beginning of the end of my career.
Okay.
That if he does the Top Gun movie, he's done.
Yeah. That
he's going out on a comedy.
Okay. Now, do you think OJ's coming back for it?
Oh, God, I hope not.
I have a conspiracy theory for you if you want to hear that about OJ.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Wasn't OJ that killed Nicole Brown and the other guy? It was OJ's son.
Really?
Yep. Look it up sometime when you get a chance. Listeners, look it up. OJ's son is responsible for the death.
When we had Alan Warren on, he had an interesting theory too. Actually, he had interviewed somebody who had an interesting theory. Look,
Okay.
go back and listen to the Alan Warren show. But yeah, that's on O.J. Simpson. But
I will.
there's an interesting theory there as to O.J. was involved, but not directly involved.
Yes, that's what it is with the kid too. Is OJ was and obviously he's going to take the fall because it's his kid. So
right. We move on. A Michigan woman who said she was a wolf sentenced for sexually assaulting a friend and biting her ear off.
Mike Tyson, anybody?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that was Tyson's problem. He thought he was a wolf in the ring with Holyfield.
Did you hear the one about the guy who he went up to the doctor, and the doctor says, "Why are you here?" He says, "I was bit by a wolf." And the doctor goes, "Where?" And the guy goes, "No, just a regular wolf."
Oh, God. Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. We go to Oakland County, Michigan, where a woman was reportedly attacked, or rather, a woman who reportedly attacked and sexually assaulted her friend was sentenced to 10 to 15 years in prison after pleading guilty to assault charges. Oakland County court records show Allison Weaver entered the plea Wednesday, October 12th, and was sentenced the same day. According to WDIV-TV, on September 17th of 2019, at 1:23 a.m., Oakland County Sheriff's Office deputies were called to a residence at the Lake Village Apartments when a neighbor heard two women fighting. Deputies reportedly knocked on the victim's door and heard a woman calling for help. They entered and found Weaver and another woman covered in blood. Oakland County Deputy Sean Hopkins reportedly testified that Weaver seemed to be in a happy type mood, whereas the victim appeared like she may have been in shock.
Well, because she couldn't hear anybody was coming in.
I guess. Hopkins asked what Weaver and the victim were doing, and Weaver said they were having sex. And the victim was a vampire, and Miss Weaver was the wolf.
So that means they have to fight.
I guess.
That's an age-old rivalry right there.
Yeah, it is. A large portion of the victim's ear had reportedly been bitten off, and the victim told Hopkins their sex was not consensual. The victim was transported to a nearby hospital in bad bruises and wounds all over her body. The victim also testified she and Weaver met about 12 years ago when their daughters were around the same age. The victim reportedly invited Weaver over the night of September 16th, and they started drinking. Weaver reportedly kissed her, and later in the night, the victim wanted to go to bed. The victim said she saw Weaver on all fours on my bed and me standing there, and she was on all fours giving me a really scary look. Weaver allegedly lunged at the victim and strangled her. WDIV reports at Weaver's sentencing hearing, the victim said the night felt like a horror movie.
Well, yeah.
She said, first off...
Rawr, does this do it for you? Rawr, huh? Does this do it for you? Rawr, come on, I'm talking to you. Rawr.
She said, first off, waking up in my own bed to find her in some animal-like crawling position, naked, ready to pounce on me, her strangling me, the expression on her face until I was unconscious, the extreme pain I felt as I regained consciousness and could not move from being raped, beaten, and literally eaten alive from head to toe.
Ooh.
Weaver reportedly told the victim during the attack, "You have to die."
Oh.
Oh, that is just creepy.
She might want to quit drinking.
Yeah, I think so. Weaver apologized in court saying, "I do feel really, really horrible about what happened."
Great apology.
Yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
I'm sorry. I feel bad.
Ace's kid. That's a great apology there.
Well, in that case, if you feel bad.
The judge had an interesting comment, told Weaver, "I've been up here for 25 years and I've seen murder cases that were not nearly as violent as this case." So there you go.
Weaver might want to stop drinking. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, just thinking maybe you should. Yeah.
Yeah, rock bottom is bad. You know, you have those mean drunks, you have those happy drunks, and then you have those wolf drunks.
Yes. Yeah, the wolf drunks are the worst. They really are. Got a few more stories here on Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals today. Interestingly enough, we've talked about how in Florida, sometimes good things happen to good people, and sometimes strange things happen to strange people. And sometimes good things happen to strange people and strange things happen to good people. And sometimes there's a combination of both that end up doing nothing. And sometimes the Lord just blesses you with cocaine.
There's a song written about it, so.
There is, yeah. A Good Samaritan called police when he found a strange package. Inside was 11 pounds of cocaine, according to a Border Patrol officer.
Oops.
We go to Daytona Beach, where the coke runs like water, and the water washes up coke.
Honey, did you order powdered sugar? No, dear, why? Well, we have 11 pounds of something here.
Let's put it in the cake and see what happens. A suspicious package that washed ashore in Daytona Beach this week had nearly 11 pounds of cocaine inside, said Walter N. Schlosser, who is the chief patrol agent with the Miami sector of the U.S. Border Patrol. A Good Samaritan first spotted the package and called local authorities, Schlosser said, and then Border Patrol came and seized the drugs. Then they had a huge party.
Someone got to their destination, went, okay, got my swim trunks, got my Hawaiian shirt, got my Advil, sunglasses. Shit, where's my cocaine? Hey, where'd my 11 pounds of cocaine go?
This is not going to be good. The street value of that amount of cocaine, take a guess, Bruiser.
$30,000.
You're swinging low.
I am. I'm going to say, okay, $1 million.
No, you're swinging high.
Okay, $500,000.
One more.
$400,000.
Nah, it's only 150 grand.
Oh, that's all.
Yeah, for 11. Yeah.
And someone's having a bad vacation because they lost 11 pounds of cocaine.
That's right. $150,000 is the street value of the amount of cocaine. There's currently no information released about how the cocaine got there. I'll have you know how it got there. Airdrop from God.
That's how that bear got all that cocaine. Remember, it fell out of that plane?
Yeah.
They just made a movie out of it?
Yeah. Yep. That's how.
You think that Good Samaritan was like, wait, how much could I have gotten for that?
Yeah, exactly. I could have made how much off this? If I had chopped it up with some baking soda, I could have stretched that sucker out to about $300K.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Border Patrol went, what? And they went, nothing. Didn't say a thing.
I have a mom that's given 10-year-olds tattoos, and she'd be happy to have some of this.
That's right. I could have cut that sucker in half, and I could have made at least $100,000 off of her. Just saying. I don't think this Flash movie's ever coming out.
Oh, I don't think so either, especially with all the stuff coming out about Ezra Miller.
Yeah, and that's who we're talking about next.
Is this the altar stuff?
Well, he was in court in Vermont. Speaking of Vermont and their foliage.
I didn't know that. The last I heard about him is that he made Susan Sarandon pay respects to his altar in order to come into his house.
No, really?
Yeah, he has an altar set up for him and his followers. In order to come into his house, you have to offer up a greeting to the altar. Sounds
like a sweet guy. Flash star Ezra Miller has pleaded not guilty to burglary charges in Vermont. The Flash star pleaded not guilty on Monday to charges that they broke into a neighbor's home and stole booze, but could face 26 years behind bars if convicted. I think they better start finding an alternate Flash.
I was going to say, it's already filmed, right?
It is. It's in the can.
So they might want to just find somebody to reshoot his shoots.
Yeah, I think there's second shoots that need to be done, but
yeah.
The troubled 30-year-old actor who uses they/them pronouns made a court appearance on felony burglary charges by video link from Burlington, Vermont, for the alleged May 1st heist, during which cops said they made off with bottles of gin, vodka, and rum. I think he can afford them.
I was going to say, he got a pretty big payday for Justice League and The Flash.
Yeah. The Stamford, Vermont incident adds to a slew of legal issues plaguing Miller in recent months, including a pair of busts in Hawaii on harassment, assault, and disorderly conduct charges in March and April. Miller pleaded no contest to the assault charges and paid a $500 fine, while the harassment charge was later dismissed. In In June, Rolling Stone reported that Miller had been living with 3 young children and their 25-year-old mother in a drug and gun-filled Vermont farm. Also in June, the mother of an 18-year-old woman accused the actor of grooming her daughter in a cult-like setting in California. After their arrest in the Vermont burglary in August, Miller issued a statement conceding they were in a state of intense crisis and undergoing treatment. Having recently gone through a time of intense crisis, I understand, it says that I think it meant now, understand I am suffering complex mental health issues and I have begun ongoing treatment. They said, I want to apologize to everyone that I have alarmed and upset with my past behavior. In a statement on Monday, a representative for the actor reiterated that Miller pleaded not guilty to the charges and accepted the court-imposed conditions of not contacting or entering the home of the inhabitants. Ezra would like to acknowledge the love and support they have received from their families and friends who continue to be a vital presence in the ongoing mental health. Representative Lisa Shellcrott wrote. So there you go.
Do you think they become the next Charles Manson?
That's a good...
I can see the seeds being planted right now.
Oh yeah. It's certainly is leaning that way, but I don't know. It just depends on if the treatment is taken seriously.
Correct. Yeah. But it's just so many parallels to Manson, you know?
Yep, we'll see. We'll definitely see. Let's move on, shall we? Let's get back to the silly here, where there's only so many weapons you can use in a bank robbery. I'm holding one up right now, Bruiser.
Pew, 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 pew,
pew, pew, pew. Bandit is busted for a finger gun bank heist. That's right. You have one as well. Just take your hand, close them 3 little fingers at the end. You've got your forefinger and your thumb. That'll get you about $120. Right there, Bruiser. See? $120. Bang, bang.
Hey, when he's desperate, he's desperate.
Cops say a man nabbed minutes after robbing $120 with that finger banger right there. Bang, bang.
He can't even buy a gun for that, can he?
No, about $200.
So if his intentions is going to buy a gun, like, I'm going to start here with this one, pew, pew, and then I'm going to eventually move up to the pew.
Yep. Armed with only a finger gun tucked under his shirt. Well, at least he disguised it.
Is he 15?
Yes. A Florida man yesterday robbed a bank, but was arrested.
Of course.
Yeah. Actually, this was a few days ago, not yesterday, but a few days ago. But was arrested within 10 minutes of pulling off a $120 heist. According to investigators, 56-year-old Paul James Sinclair, yes, he's 56 and he's a genius.
This is a bank he's heisting?
Yeah.
And he only got 100. What kind of bank is he hitting that only has 120? Did he just ask the teller for whatever's in their wallet and walk away?
I think they probably figured him out. It was a Chase branch in Seminole around 1:25 p.m. on Monday of it would have been a week ago Monday. And approached teller Desiree Stefanik, who evidently was pretty darn smart to realize that was a finger gun under his shirt. With his hand under his shirt, cops charged Sinclair made the shape of a gun with his finger and demanded that Stefanik hand over cash.
Do you think that she thought he was just giving her the finger gun salute? You know, the when you see somebody you know and you do the
bang, bang. Yeah. Sinclair also advised her not to push any buttons as he waited for her to open her drawer. After the bank employee handed over $120, Sinclair fled the crime scene. So he wasn't smart enough to wait for any more cash than that, I guess.
He's a terrible bank robber.
Yeah. Sinclair, who cops describe as a transient, was arrested at 1:36 p.m. and charged with robbery. He's being held in the county jail in lieu of $10,000 bond on the felony count.
And everyone in prison better watch out. He's got that thumb shank.
That's right. The thumb shank. The complaint notes that no weapons or digits were seized from Sinclair. So, yeah, they weren't able to get the gun off of him before they sent him to prison.
So he's still armed in prison?
Yes, he's still armed in prison, Bruiser. We're not going very far. We're going from Florida to Florida.
Oh, okay.
Evidently, bang, bang, this gun also translates over to another threat when you're trying to pick up your kid from school.
Oh, yeah, you never mention guns or do gun symbols at a school.
No, but you know what? If you're trying to pick up your kid from school, there's other things you can threaten with to get your kid quicker from school. You ready for this?
Yes.
It turns out you don't really need weapons. You just threaten with your fingers, bang, bang. You threaten to blow shit up. You're able to get your kid out of the school line quicker.
Yeah.
A Florida mother allegedly threatened to blow up an elementary school and beat up the principal during a school pickup. You can make that line move faster, evidently, by doing that.
Get there earlier. Better planning.
We go to Brevard County, Florida, where a mother was arrested and charged after allegedly threatening to blow up an elementary school. I don't know that makes the pickup line move any faster.
No, it actually slows it quite a bit.
Got to talk to my cousin about this move. Maybe she can try it and see what happens. According to
or you just randomly show up to some random Minnesota school and say, "Hey, I'm here to pick up little Jimmy. And if you don't give it to me now, I'm going to blow it up and beat up your principal." See what happens.
According to a news release from the Brevard County Sheriff's Office, Tiffany Marie Perazzi was in the pickup line at a school when a school resource deputy issued her a traffic citation. Do you have a feeling she might be a New York transplant?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Issued her a traffic citation, and she allegedly trespassed at the school. She was reportedly told to make arrangements to have someone else pick up her child, and she became upset. Perazzi threw the trespass warning out the car window and threatened to punch and beat the principal's butt if she cannot come on campus to pick up her child. This according to the sheriff's office.
Why can't the child leave campus to walk to your car?
I don't know. I don't think they let them leave campus.
They have the principal walk the child to the car.
I don't know. Perazzi also called 911 and said, "I need someone to meet me at the school, and if someone don't help me get my child, I will blow this bitch up."
You don't say that to 911.
According to the sheriff's office.
Oh my gosh. I really hope there's meth involved in this.
Now, if you're ready for this, Bruiser, in the ultimate response, as a result, the school was placed on lockdown until authorities could determine that Perazzi was not a threat to the school staff or students.
No, she just had the pinky bomb in her purse.
Yeah, because she threatened to blow this bitch up. She was reportedly arrested and booked into the Brevard County Jail for fleeing and eluding, operating a vehicle without a valid license, disturbing school function, and false report of a bomb. Perazzi's bond was reportedly set at $22,500.
Jeez. We just needed the trifecta of some meth and we would have been perfect story.
And by the way, she does look like she's straight off the Jersey Shore.
Oh my God. Yeah, she's a thug.
She's a thug. Look at you. She's a thug. You're kind of quick to judge today there, buddy.
Hey, she threatened to blow up a school. She's a thug.
I don't know that she threatened to blow up the school. She just...
said, somebody come here and pick up my child. I'm going to blow this bitch up.
She said, "I need someone to meet me at the school, and if someone don't help me get my child..." Let me do the right accent. "I need someone to meet me at the school, and if someone don't help me get my child, I will blow this bitch up."
See? Yeah. So you made her part of the mafia. I just said she's a thug.
Hey, if someone don't get over here, I'm going to blow this bitch up, all right?
I'm going to beat up the principal. Kick him in the butt.
I'll take his butt out. You know what I mean? You know who's the real mafia in this deal?
The principal?
As we've got 2 stories left. It's the Power Rangers.
Ah, okay.
Yes, they're the real mafia.
Sure they are.
The Power Rangers are the real mafia, Bruiser.
They made my childhood fun.
I guess. they're on the convention circuit now.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jason David Frank's been on there forever.
I think that's the only thing he does.
That's all he did. Well, he tried MMA fight. He tried to be a pro wrestler.
Sure.
That didn't last long.
No.
And I don't think his MMA career lasted long either.
No, he got his ass whooped. That's what happened. It turns out though that there are some real life Power Rangers that are out there actually defending the world and doing it successfully. Not just those TV Power Rangers that aren't doing much of anything. Did you know there's an actual restaurant where you can go and Power Rangers will serve you?
I'm assuming there is. There's restaurants all over that are themed like that. Yeah. So I just assume a Power Rangers one.
Would you go to that restaurant, by the way?
Yes, actually, I probably would.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mrs. Bruiser's a huge Power Rangers fan, so probably.
Would you squeal in glee as they served you your fettuccine, or would you be somewhat leery?
I like it. Their costumes are cool. It depends on what Power Rangers is serving me.
Oh, all of them. Look here, I'll show you a picture.
All of them are serving me?
All the Power Rangers.
Yeah, that's all of them. Those are some terrible costumes.
They are. Yeah, they're all the Power Ranger rainbow, my friend. They're all.
Those are horrible costumes.
They are. They're terrible. And it looks like a Power Ranger ate a Power Ranger. I don't think any of them are in shape.
Yeah, Green Ranger looks like he ate the White Ranger and the Black Ranger.
Yeah. I don't think a workout is in store for any of those. Power Rangers.
That's definitely not Jason David Frank in that outfit.
Yeah. That's
I think that one ate Jason David Frank to get the outfit.
Probably. Well, he wasn't doing anything worthwhile. Anyway,
he was doing conventions and nobody was getting in his line.
He might have been a little tough, though, too, if he'd been working out. Jason David Frank, I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's got that long hair, too.
Yeah. Servers dressed as Power Rangers at a California restaurant fended off an attacker who was choking a woman. It was the first workout they had gotten all year.
Go. Do you think they all held up their thing and said, go Power Rangers?
I think so, yeah. And then they had to all get together and stack and form and make a giant Power Ranger to attack the one. It took a while. So this woman really did get the life choked out.
That's Voltron. You're thinking of Voltron.
Are you sure? Wasn't there one series where they all got together and stacked?
Yeah. I'm thinking the originals. Those are the original costumes there. Yeah, you're thinking of the Zords. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. See,
you're
look,
right.
I went deep with my Power Rangers knowledge, my friend.
No, you didn't. That's the earlier ones. I'm going old school original Power Rangers. They didn't have Zords. They had Jason David Frank in a green outfit with no mouth playing flute on a sword that didn't have a flute.
Yeah, that's not phallic. Anyway, trying to corrupt the kids of America. Anyways. So by the time police arrived, several Power Rangers had piled onto the man, preventing him from continuing the attack.
They're just like, dog pile.
That ought to be a cartoon, or that ought to be a Saturday morning show. Dog pile Power Rangers. They don't really have a power. They just jump onto people.
Yeah, they just tackle you and pile on.
They're so out of shape, they just boom. Then they dog pile onto the villain of the week.
You just hear a bunch of gas leaving as they get on. It's like,
oh, my gas is trapped in my mask. We go to Oakland, California, where employees dressed as Power Rangers at a new restaurant in California's Bay Area sprang into action and became real superheroes by fending off an attacker who was choking a woman. The whole incident was documented in a now viral series of tweets by a woman who was having dinner.
Little did she know it was just a Heimlich maneuver the guy was trying to do.
She was all like, y'all got to check this shit out. As if the sight of a 90s superhero taking orders or slinging drinks at a bar wasn't amazing enough, what happened at Noka Ramen in Oakland. Oh, so you had to go to a ramen restaurant to see this.
Oh, yeah, I believe it. Power Rangers was a Japanese show they brought over here.
Yeah. It happened at around 8 p.m. on a Friday. Could be described as a morphin time.
I want to know if they had the morph to get over there.
I bet they did. When something surprising breaks out, you're not sure it's real, said Ploy Pirapokin, a restaurant patron who witnessed the attack. This according to KGO via Zoom.
Oh, look, honey, they're staging a murder for us to watch. What great dinner theater.
This is great. Oh, wait, she's bleeding for real. According to Pirapokin's Twitter thread, a woman ran into the Thai-owned restaurant seeking help, and a man came running in after her and puts her in a chokehold. That's when all of the servers / Power Rangers moved in to de-escalate the situation. The black and yellow Rangers told the man to leave, and the attacker began hurling punches and kicks at them. According to Pirapokin's tweets, Pirapokin said the man even began shouting anti-Asian slurs. Not a great idea in a ramen restaurant.
No, but I don't think he knew where he was. I think he ran in, and all of a sudden there's a bunch of Power Rangers running at him. He's like, what the hell did I take?
He's like, oh, shit, where am I? And the Yellow Ranger dragged him out of the restaurant by the collar.
You come out here.
That was his best move.
Yellow Ranger's actually passed away in a car accident. Very sad.
But he was there in the restaurant the entire time.
It was a she. Yellow's a she.
Okay, but I'm just saying.
Well, I know. I'm just saying. Mm-hmm. The original.
Yeah.
But anyways, this one's cool.
This is like a really bad Footprints. Like the Yellow Ranger passed away, but she was there with you the entire time. Dragging the.
You think that guy's in prison or is in jail looking around going, what'd you do, huh? Oh, okay. What'd you do? All right. Yeah.
Got my ass kicked by Power Rangers.
My ass kicked by Power Rangers.
Yeah. Eventually, the spirit of community kicked in, and even customers started morphing too. They felt the spirit, Bruiser.
One became He-Man, one became G.I. Joe.
And then
all the 90s. The turtles came out of the back with pizza.
And there's that one that just became Orko and was useless.
The guy picked up his butter knife and started going, thunder, thunder, Thundercats, ho!
But nothing happened.
No, he grew a beard.
Yeah. The patrons started getting involved in a way that was supporting and making sure everyone was safe, Pirapokin said. And they all got together and hugged. Outside, the attacker then started picking up chairs, baby seats, and salt and pepper shakers to throw at the windows. The Rangers ended up piling onto the man until police showed up. That's so cute. Oakland police.
Can you imagine the cop getting that call? Car 54, we need you to report to the ramen thing. There's some Power Rangers holding a perp. Base, did you just say Power Rangers? Yeah, confirm that, Car 54. There's the Power Rangers are on the scene.
By the way, can you make them reserve officers, please? Oakland police confirmed to KGO that they detained the man, believing he was undergoing a mental health crisis, and transported him for medical attention. Pirapokin, who is Thai herself, said that what she witnessed was an example of that fun Thai spirit and the need to help others come to life.
Do you think when they load the guy they get the guy in the ambulance and he just goes, please tell me you see the Power Rangers too. Please tell me you see them.
Please tell me I got my ass kicked by Power Rangers. You see it too, right? Pirapokin said, Thai people are very playful. We like to laugh. Whether it's to really by kicking a guy's ass in Power Ranger outfits.
But they were laughing the whole time.
They're like, so funny. Whether it's to create harmony or balance, that's our ethos. That's how we approach something that's scary or shocking or surprising. It's something within us that we turn to laughter to try and peacekeeper right away. While the costumes, which are an ode to the restaurant's signature cocktail served in ranger-shaped vessels, are only worn on Fridays. Oh, so this guy picked Friday to attack the restaurant when everyone's dressed as Power Rangers.
So he's going to take his buddies who don't believe him back on a Tuesday and go, no, man, this is where it happened. There's Power Rangers and they kick my ass. And he's going to walk in and it's a normal Thai restaurant.
Yeah.
You're like, I swear to God, there was Power Rangers here last week.
There was a yellow one and a pink one, and that guy was in black and white. Uh-huh. They're a reminder that it's always morphin' time at Noka. As they say in the famous show, may the power protect you. Oh. Guy got his ass kicked by Power Rangers.
Nothing wrong with that.
Well, I know one guy who didn't get his ass kicked by anything. He was doing the ass kicking. And this is our final story of the day. Oh, God, this guy just looks like he violates things. A jury convicted a man for a vile act with an Elmo doll.
Oh, why the Elmo doll? What is with the 90s references here?
I don't know. A 60-year-old Michigan home inspector was recorded secretly by a nanny cam, which I don't know if he violated the nanny cam afterwards or not.
Well, no, he's only into Elmos, not teddy bears.
It's true. This past week, a jury convicted a Michigan man of aggravated indecent exposure for using a Tickle Me Elmo doll to masturbate while he was inspecting a residence on behalf of a potential purchaser. I really ought to get these bifocals checked.
So he wasn't even in his own residence?
No, he was somebody else's.
Elmo just does it for him, man.
Yep, he found an Elmo. That tickles.
I'll tickle you, Elmo.
60-year-old, and depending on how you pronounce this, it's Kevin Van Luven.
Leuven?
It should be Van Leuven. It could be Van Loven.
It's Elmo loving, thank you very much.
It's Van Elmo Lovin' time. Was found guilty of the misdemeanor following a one-day trial in Oakland County Circuit Court. The jury acquitted Van Leuven, we'll call him that, of malicious destruction of property, also a misdemeanor. Judge Phyllis McMillan scheduled Van Leuven's sentencing for December 2nd. The indecent exposure count carries a maximum penalty of 2 years in prison and a $2,000 fine. That's all it costs to tear up Elmo's backside. Oh, poor Elmo.
Elmo used to be worth that back in the day, remember?
Elmo says get off, and not in a bad way.
Yeah.
His defense was, well, I tickled that bitch.
Van Leuven, who works as a home inspector, was arrested last year after the owners of a suburban Detroit home contacted cops to report that a nanny cam recorded Van Leuven pleasuring himself inside the residence. Van Leuven was inspecting the Oxford Township home on behalf of a potential purchaser. The home's owners had let Van Leuven, another inspector, the buyers, and a real estate agent into the property. And only one came out, if you know what I mean.
He did it with other people in the house, too? That's risky.
Well,
Elmo really does it for him.
I guess. When the inspection began, the owners and their two small boys left the three-bedroom house. After 2 hours had passed, homeowner Jada Dodson remotely accessed her home security cameras to check on the progress of the inspection. And that's where the fun began.
Okay, there's a home. Okay, there's that one. All right, there's that. What is he doing?
Oh, dear God! At a court hearing last year, Dodson testified that she saw Van Leuven remove a Tickle Me Elmo doll that had been among stuffed animals stored in a small teepee tent, as opposed to the pee-pee tent that was forming in his pants, in the bedroom of Dodson's 2-year-old son.
Oh, yeah, Elmo. You're looking nice and red. Fluffy. Ooh, you like that. You like when I tickle you, huh? Oh, okay. Okay. Slow down.
Wait a minute. You don't have any ears to grab. Van Leuven then allegedly unzipped his pants and began masturbating in our son's closet with his Tickle Me Elmo. No. Really?
That's wrong on so many fronts.
This is according to Dodson. It says the above surveillance still shows Van Leuven holding the Elmo doll. Well, you got to cuddle afterwards.
He also bought Elmo dinner.
Yeah. Well, he already had a liquid lunch. After Dodson called police, an officer confronted Van Leuven at the residence. That had to be awkward. Sir, put down the Elmo doll. It's my Elmo doll.
Sir, I'd like to see your hands. No, you wouldn't.
No, not really.
Put the Elmo doll down. I don't advise that.
The cop reported that. Oh, God, are you ready to this? You ready? Oh, Bruiser, are you ready for this?
Did he let him finish?
You ready for this?
Yep.
I have to steady myself for this. This will be the weirdest thing I've read all day. Do I have a button for this? Let me see. Nope, that's not the button for this. Let me see. That's not the button.
That's what Elmo was thinking.
I gotta go through my button bar here. That's not it. Nope, that's not the button. That's not the button. That's not the button. That's not the button either.
That's what Elmo was thinking.
I don't think I have the button for this. Okay. Okay.
Booty shaking.
Oh,
everywhere.
maybe. Yeah, that might be the button. Let me see here. Do I have a button for? Let me see. Is it? No. Oh. Yeah. No, that's not it. Maybe it's this. No. I need a new button, Bruiser.
Okay, what's the button?
I don't know. I don't know what the button is. I need a new button. I don't have a button for this. I'll just go ahead and read it.
It's going to be good because you built it up.
I know. Here we go. After Dodson called police, an officer confronted Van Leuven at the residence. The cop reported that Van Leuven, quote, admitted to placing his penis in Elmo's mouth, in the doll's mouth, and apologized and said he was ashamed.
My bad, dog. My bad.
If I could do it all over again, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't put it in his mouth. I'd put it other places, but not in his mouth.
That's right. Van Leuven subsequently sought to quash verbal and written confessions given to police, but a judge denied his motion to suppress those statements.
The judge wanted to see the step-by-step of why Elmo turns him on.
Right. Can we go over that again? Again?
You put your penis where?
So you wanted Elmo to give you a blowjob, but he's not capable of doing that because he's a puppet!
Sir, that's not how you tickle Elmo.
In the comments of this story, someone wrote that it's not Tickle Me Elmo, it's Deep Throat Me Elmo. Yeah.
Vivid's going to make a video about that.
Yeah.
Deep Throat Elmo.
Deep Throat Elmo.
No, not doing. Elmo says, stop.
Yeah. So there you go, folks. That's Dumb Crime, Stupid Criminals for this week.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that's. Told you I didn't have a button for it.
We ended on a high note, I guess.
We did. It's a 60-year-old man accosting Elmo. How traumatized must you be if you're on a nanny cam? You see a home inspector going at it with, what do you do with the Elmo?
Yeah, like what does the homeowner do at Elmo? That's what I want to know. It's evidence. They bagged it for evidence.
You have a 2-year-old who loves this Elmo doll. You can't wash the thing and give it back
You can't
to
let
him.
Yep, no more watching Sesame Street.
And it's not like Tickle Me Elmo. Is Tickle Me Elmo still on the shelf?
I have no idea. That could be a hand-me-down.
Oh God! Oh, don't say hand me down.
Can you imagine how many baby body fluids on there? how crusty it is with spit up.
But I mean, you just can't. You know.
Do you take that back to the store and say you'd like to return it, or you sell it on eBay as gently used?
Oh, it wasn't gently used, my friend. No.
Wait, you put roughly face theft?
I'm sure old McLovin was going at it with Elmo. It wasn't gently used at all. Do you do one of those swap and trade shops? Do you go to one of those and try and get a new Tickle Me Elmo for the old Tickle Me Elmo?
Do they have to go back through every home he's inspected now and check and see if there's any other Sesame Street paraphernalia he's had sex with?
Oh, imagine if he went at it with Cookie Monster.
Nom, 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 nom.
Nom, 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 nom.
Hey, Big Throat. Or, hey, Big Bird, you got a big throat.
Big throat.
Nice neck, Big Bird. Let's see how far I can get in there.
Just imagine if he triple teamed Bert and Ernie. God.
Oscar wasn't a grouch till he met me.
Oh, no.
Hey, count this.
One huge pervert going to the slammer.
One, you shot me in the eye.
Two huge balls that are turning blue. Yeah, that'll do it for today. I think we've grossed everybody out enough. Yeah. So on tomorrow's show, we got supernatural news. And then Thursday, we got us some Brian J. Cano action going on.
Nice.
Yeah. That's our week lining up.
Excellent investigator.
Yeah, he is. He's also got a history of the paranormal exhibit that he's taking around the country.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but we're going to be talking about his life and times on, he's got a book out there as well. He's got a biography.
Oh, nice.
That he's got out now that we're encouraging you to go out and get. So we're going to talk a little bit about his history, his TV shows, his history of the paranormal exhibit that he's got going on right now. Some other projects he's got going on. So that's what's coming up this week here on Darkness Radio.
Sounds like a party.
Yeah. So that's True Crime Tuesday today. Thanks for putting up with our shenanigans today. We appreciate you folks. By the way, Bruiser, guess what happened over the weekend?
What?
We passed 1 million downloads on Audio Boom, on just Audio Boom.
Well, congratulations.
So look at that. So since mid-June, we've had 1 million downloads of this show and of Darkness Radio. So
well, thank you, fans. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to celebrate, and this is how we're going to do it. We are going to do, and it's a one-of-a-kind deal. We're going to do a one-of-a-kind giveaway. We're going to induct somebody into the Millionaires Club. Get it? Millionaires Club.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. So 1 million heirs of the show, 1 million heirs. So you're going to get a one-of-a-kind gift from us, from your buddies, Timmy, Bruiser, Mally, and Jess. And it's one of a kind because it's never been made before. It's a Darkness Radio gift, Darkness Radio labeled gift, and we'll unveil it on social media. It'll be custom made for you and you only.
Nice.
And it'll be sent out to you. But we're going to draw for it. And we'll draw for it on the air here. So what you're going to do, no purchase necessary. Void were prohibited in all 50 states, Bruiser, including Puerto Rico. So just send, and here's what's going to disqualify you, though.
Okay.
Are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Send an email to tim@darknessradio.com with a subject line, I want to be in the Millionaires Club. Million-Airs. AIRS. Club.
Gotcha.
And then for in the body of the email, just say, give me my free shit or whatever you want to put in there. Or I want to be in the contest or whatever, or make me a millionaire or whatever. We're not giving away money.
No.
Okay. This is a
We can't afford that.
Right. We don't have any money. But what this is it's a one-of-a-kind thing. It could be a shirt. It could be a jacket. It could be a cooler. It could be a beach towel. It could be something that's Darkness Radio branded.
Tickle
but it's
me Elmo.
A what?
Tickle me Elmo.
It could be a Tickle Me Elmo, a freshly used Tickle Me Elmo doll with a Darkness Radio shirt on it. It could be, yes, Bruiser, you're so sick. It could be whatever, but there's only one of its kind
Love it.
out there. And you are going to be the owner of it. And it may say, I got Darkness Radio to 1 million listeners.
Nice.
Or 1 million listens. That's what it'll say.
Love it.
So there you go.
I love it. I think it's a great idea.
So there you go.
Send those emails.
Send those emails. Tim@darknessradio.com and put in the subject line, I want to be, how did I put that? I even forgot.
It should just be, I want to be a millionaire. And then have it.
I want to be in the Millionaires Club.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, I want to be in the Millionaires, million-AIRS Club.
Right.
And you could win, you could be one winner. That's it. There's going to be one winner. One winner.
One winner.
One
to
winner.
rule them all.
To rule them all.
There can be only one.
Special merchandise.
Even you and I won't have it, will we?
No, we won't. You and I won't have it.
I like it.
It's just going to be one person in the entire world that will have this one piece of merchandise. And it's just a way of saying thank you.
Yes. And thank you for if you don't win. Thank you.
And I don't know, I thought about doing just a secondary.
I think we should do a secondary.
A secondary prize of just Millionaires Club thank yous.
Yes.
Yeah. But I wanted to do one special prize that only
just a one-of-a-kind thing.
One of a kind that somebody would have that's special.
How long do they have?
We're going to give it a couple. I was going to say a couple days. You know what? We'll draw on Halloween. We'll draw on the 31st.
Perfect.
Because I think the 31st is a Monday, and we tape on that Monday.
Perfect.
So yeah, we'll draw on the 31st. So you have until Halloween, October 31st, to get those selections, those emails into us. So yeah, just I want to be in the Millionaires, million-airs, AIRS Club. And we'll Bruiser will tweet it out. I'll tweet it out or get it on social media. And again, we'll just put a big question mark up because we're not going to tell you what exactly it is yet. I'll let you know. We'll let you know a little bit closer to the actual time that
Halloween.
Yeah. What this is, but pardon me, I had to wet the whistle there. But we'll let you know what exactly it is. Let's just put it this way. It's going to be awesome.
Of course it is.
Going to be awesome. One-of-a-kind merchandise. It's our version of an NFT because we ain't artists or anything like that. We don't know.
Yeah, I'll toss in. I'll send one of my 8x10s too.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, I'll sign it.
Yeah.
I'll put welcome to the Millionaires Club.
Yeah. Welcome to the Millionaires Club. So it's again, no money, but just merchandise that says basically that you put us over 1 million listens. So,
Yep.
we don't know exactly who did it. We don't have a way of proving that you were the one, but we'll draw and you'll be the one. So
There you go.
There you go. Just our way of saying thank you for being a treasured listener of Darkness Radio and True Crime Tuesday. So that'll do it for today. We'll see you tomorrow. Supernatural news with myself and Bruiser. Thank you so much for tuning in today for the best in true crime podcasting, True Crime Tuesday. And we'll see you tomorrow for the best in paranormal programming, Darkness Radio. We'll see you tomorrow, kids.